Hey, good evening. Good evening to the live chat crew, as always. Good to see you guys. Yeah, this is kind of a hectic. Tony just arrived at the last minute. I haven't even had a chance to speak to him other than say hello, and we got to go live. So I'm a little bit frazzled, but I did want to mention to all of you before I forget, right off the top of the show. So yesterday, I don't know why, but suddenly I was on my computer and my computer just shut off. The whole thing just shut off. When I rebooted, about 15 minutes later, 10 or 15 minutes later, the same thing happened. And then I rebooted, and maybe 2 or 3 hours later, it happened again. Hasn't happened since, but I'm warning you, just in case you see me disappear or whatever. And Tony, I know you're listening. If it happens that I disappear, just stay with the show. And you just have to wait till I reboot and get back on. So just a warning in case these gremlins happen again. But that's it. Let me see who's in the house. I know that Mr. Red Jack was the first one in as usual. Good to see you, sir. Thank you as always for being here. And I saw the message answering my question about 30 minutes. That's awesome. I appreciate that. That's great that you can spend at least a little bit of time with us. So that's cool. Thank you so much. And of course, g'day to you down in Oz, David Barr. Good to see you as always, sir. And Paulie P, of course, got to say hi to you again. Shockingly long time since I last saw you here. So very happy when I see your name. So thank you. And I hope you stick around at least a little while. So that'll you always contribute to the fun, Paul. So that's why I like to see you here. And Comic Art Boston, you too, as always. Thank you so much. My buddy Jason Ladway, good evening to you, sir. And Jason will be my pal who's gonna hang out with me next week. We're gonna do a pre-Super Bowl show. So just another hangout, but it'll be from 4 to 6. So as far as I understand, the Super Bowl is at 6:30 is the scheduled time. So I figured we'll allow 2 hours and cut it off at 6. So, to give everybody who wants to watch the game, half an hour to sort of do whatever prep you want to do before you got to sit down and watch. So 4 to 6. And anyways, I'll put up the thumbnail for that. Well, you know what? I can actually do it real quick. Let me put the thumbnail up. I'm not even sure I put it up. Let me see, everyone. So I've got all of Tony's art here, of course, and we'll be seeing a lot of art tonight, so that'll be fun. And for next week, Jason Ladwig, we have, let me see. Here we go. Let me pop this on the screen for you guys. And here it is. All right, so pre-Super Bowl comic art hangout with Jason Ladwig, and of course, you guys, the live chat crew. As always, if of course you can make it, kind of a weird time for everybody. Of course, that's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon for the West Coasters among you. But yeah, so 4 to 6. I just figured might as well do something, and whoever shows up shows up, and if you can't, you can't. No problem. So yeah, so that is that. Stevie B, good to see you, sir. Marcus is chanting. He wants Tony. Remember that group, Marcus? Tony, back in the 90s? And I wonder if you even thought of that when you wrote that. Comic Books NYC in the house. What's up, Coffee? The Grammys got nothing on us. Yeah, baby, that's what I say. And you'd be obligated to watch normally. Not this time. Nice. Good to see you, sir. No obligation on your part. Boy, when I was like a teenager and in my, first half of my 20s, man, I loved all those music award shows. I can't remember the last time I tuned into one. It's been years, though. But let me see. CJ, a regular live chat crew member. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well, too. And I hope your ribs are getting better and better. It's been a while now. So, I hope, let me know. I hope it's you got to be getting close to the 100% soon, I would think. Stevie B, again, yes. Thought I'd let you entertain me while I was here bagging boarding comics. Perfect. I actually like to watch shows while I multitask, so that's awesome. Hey, Ian, what is up, Ian? Got away from the family already. Holy crap. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. And hit the likes for Rubén the Talk Show Master. I don't know about that, but yeah, please hit the like if you can, everybody. Would appreciate that. It just helps the algorithm put the show in front of more people who can hopefully then watch it on rewind. So would appreciate that, hitting the like. That would be the thumbs up for some of you who don't know where the like is. I did not lose a bet, sir. I always cut it the same way. It's just that I always cut it myself. So, I don't know. What the hell do I know what I'm doing? I'm holding a razor in one hand, the mirror in the other. Yeah, it's not easy. I'll say that. Dude, you're going to have to explain what SLC punk style cut is. I mean, I know punk, but SLC? Let me know what that is. Fingers crossed, it'll be fine. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully yeah, I think it's maybe the connection with the power. I'm not sure. And we got Matthew Fox. Good evening, everyone. First time joining. Looking forward to see what Tony brings for show and tell. Awesome. I believe Matthew is a buddy of Tony's from the comic community. So good to see you, and thanks for coming by and dropping in to check it out and support Tony. That's awesome. Aloha to you, Carl, as always. And hey, Tricky Trapster. There's another old coffee guy. Good to see you, sir. I see he is definitely been dragged from the gutter. I don't know. He looks like he's like wearing thin. His patience is wearing thin back there. He's like, oh, what the hell? Bring me on already. So I am going to do that. Just real quick. I can't read all the comments, but yes, evening to you, sir. Evening to you. Yep, we're going to do a pre-show. Greetings to you, Jeff, of course. Who else is here? Okay, Mr. Red Jack, everybody I've already said hello to. Oh, hey, Chuck Arnold. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for stopping in tonight. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a little bit. And Mr. Easy Go Lucky, thank you as always. Yes, click those thumbs ups. Thank you very much. And oh, it's a movie. Okay, okay. SLC. Okay, I'll have to IMDb it and check it out and see what it is. Maki Poo, what's up, sir? Good to see you. And Sack Liquor Cutie, I think it means. Okay, holy crap. Okay, but plenty of people have that cut too. It's just a random. Okay, cool, man. And no, I don't take offense. Like I said, hey, I'm the one who's always here admitting I cut my own hair. Who the hell cuts their own hair? So clearly, I have no shame, right? That's it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And that brings us up to present with Wes Steffen in the house. Good to see you, sir. So thank you very much. I see your private message to me, Tony. No worries, buddy. No worries. It's going to be cool. All right. So thanks to all of you for showing up. Really, really appreciate it. Let me welcome my... Remember that? What was that? That was a Ron Popeil thing, right? The Flowbee. I think that was a Ron Popeil invention. I probably have missed many spots, West, for sure. Salt Lake City. It's an old movie, SLC punk. Okay, man, you guys, I don't know, man. I'm so zoned out on that. Wow. Okay. But anyways, as I was saying, we're going to do a nice show and tell tonight after doing 4 weeks of hangouts. I mean, it's still obviously like a hangout, right? But doing it under the auspices of the show and tell banner, I did it that way because it is going to be a lot more about show and tell of Tony's collection, more so than just hanging out and chatting. So, I figured brand it that way. And that way, because there are a lot of viewers who are more into just wanting to see art rather than just listening to chat, this way, at least when they see the thumbnail, they'll know that, okay, it's probably more about showing artwork and stuff. And so, yeah, that's basically why I did it that way. And I'm sticking to it. So you better believe Thanos art is inevitable, Kavi, for sure. So with that said, everybody, please give a warm welcome to my buddy that you guys are meeting for the first time, other than Kavi and a couple of Tricky Trapster and a couple of other guys in the chat that just came in. Tony Chavez Jr. What's up, buddy?
How's it going? How you doing?
Good to see you, man. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, no problem, no problem. It's like homework, looking at the pieces, going through books, seeing which one I pick, whatever. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like I've said it many times, right? Like I always say, the thing about hanging out, right? Let's say in the hangout show, the thing I love about it is that I don't have to pressure the friends that I asked to come on. Like, oh, you got to feel like now I got to do kind of like homework, like you said. You said it the right way, And I figure it's more stressful. And if you just come on and you're just willing to just shoot the breeze or whatever, and oh, I don't even have to look through my art and see what I'm going to pick or whatever. It's more relaxing that way, But believe me, I'm totally with you, because when I've had to pick art for whatever reason to show people, especially me, because I always obsessively, compulsively. What was that? I'm hearing myself. Are you watching yourself on another tab, Tony?
Huh? On my cell phone. Is that it? Is that it? Because I'm a cell phone?
Yeah, you might be on you might also have it on another device. Because all of a sudden I heard myself.
Really?
You got it off? Okay. You're not.
Yeah, it's off now. Can you hear yourself now?
No, I can. It sounds fine now.
Okay.
Yeah, we got, of course, Kavi chiming in about the echo. Is CJ also? Echo Park, nice. But sounds fine. Okay, yeah, sounds good. But yeah, like I was saying, so I've been there and I've done that. I've done the whole stressful thing about having to pick art, and literally I will take easily 2 hours to pick like 20 pieces, let's say.
Yeah, it was going through a whole bunch. I'm like, which one should I pick? Or some of them had specific, preference. It's a little bit of everything. And we're just going through my books, and it's nice to see. I haven't seen it like 2 books in a while, so it's nice to see some of them. A lot of them I have seen before, recently. So I have to reorganize them. It's kind of like you have everything in order. Then when you take everything out, then you rearrange it in a different order. So now I want it in this order. So I still have a stack to go through to see which ones to go where, what order I wanted to go,
Oh, yeah, for sure. That brings up a good question. Roughly, how many pieces do you say that you might have already in your collection?
You know what? I never counted, to be honest with you. I have about 6 binders and maybe like 14 on the wall. So I don't know what a binder is. So yeah, I don't know how many fit in. I never counted. I never went like 1, 2. It's just like collecting. Never counted how many I had.
Interesting. Okay. I'm still hearing myself now. I'm starting to hear myself again.
Yeah, everything is off right now.
Yeah. You don't have like another YouTube and another tab or anything?
No. I'll close everything else. But no, I don't have anything else on.
It's funny because I'll say this, like ever since I started the channel, I always, it was one of the things I was worried about is, audio issues or whatever. And I got to say, for the most part, like I don't remember any of these echoey type things really, maybe once happening before. So it's really rare that it happens on any of my shows. So that's why when now it suddenly happens. And I know I often do have multiple browsers open, different tabs, but I
close everything else. I close all the browsers right now. Yeah, I'm on my Chromebook, and I closed everything else. There's the only one that's open, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, because Kavi's saying turn down volume, but then when we turn down volume, but then we have trouble. Kind of, you guys will have trouble hearing us, and we'll have trouble hearing each other. I can do it. I can do it a little. Let me see, actually. And you know what? Actually, hold on. Sorry, everybody. Please give us a moment. I'm gonna get the volume here for me at least, to hear you. Edit the mic settings, and I'll put you on full blast here with the settings, but I will also turn down the volume a little bit now. All right, talk to me, Tone. Talk to me.
Can you hear me now? Is it better or worse? I don't know.
Right now, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Kavi. I didn't realize that. So Kavi says that when you turn on your own speaker monitor, it won't affect the volume that you hear us at. Okay. I appreciate it. Okay. Cool. Thank you so much. And we'll get into this. You were saying that. So you never really counted. But the thing is like you've got around 14 on the walls. You said, right? 14 pieces.
Yeah. 14 on
Okay.
pieces on the wall.
Okay, and that's pretty cool. And in how many total portfolios do you use?
Mainly like 3. All right, 2 of them are full already. So like 2 of them are completely full. The other 3 are still trying to mix it around with like Thanos and one, Venom and Deadpool and another one, and the other one in mix of everybody else.
Okay, so 2 are full. The other, how many others? 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3 more like that are still open. Yeah.
Okay, 3 more that are like.
Yeah, and I have one small one for like the individual drawings, like the commission ones, like the small ones. I have a small one like that.
Yeah, the smaller ones. Okay, cool. Let us know before we check out the art. Just roll briefly if you can. Just for to everybody to get to know how you kind of got into all this. I know that you've been a comic book guy pretty much your whole life. I'm assuming, right?
Right.
And how did you get into the?
I started collecting comics back in, I guess, in 82, 83 with my friends.
Oh, like me.
Around there. 82, around 82, 83. Yeah, they were collecting G.I. Joe, Transformers, and I started. I was watching those on the cartoons. So I started collecting those. Then I went to Thundercats. We went to the store and go buy. When they first came out, and we'll get like the better ones and everything else off the stands. I didn't start collecting like going back issues until like my dad brought a stack of comic books one day from his work. He found them in his job. All of them were Batmans. Read the Batmans. The last one I never read before was Uncanny X-Men. It was 132. I never read it before. I never read it before. I had no clue what the X-Men were. There was like a comedy. There was a cartoon comedy issue. I read it and I just fell in love with the last panel with Wolverine sticking out of the water in the sewers.
Yeah, that's classic.
I just had to go back. Yeah, and I had to go back. That's the first time I started collecting comic books from back issues. So I had to go back and find the back issues. But it was already like 5 or 6 years later. So it was like they were kind of expensive, especially when I was a younger kid. I'm like, I can't. I mean, I wish I could pay those prices now, But
for sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask you how old you are? Do you mind?
I'm 52.
Oh, we're the same exact age. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, we started around the same time and the same age. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I cut my hair also.
I
cut my hair like that. Yeah, I do it myself.
Awesome. There you go. You see everybody?
$30. I would have used the $30 to buy some comic books, all right?
Yeah, well, I'll admit, I'm not doing it for the money. It was more like, I'm losing my hair. I was just like, the hairdresser. I used to go to a hairdresser, and it was like it was thinning out. So I noticed she couldn't really style it the way I wanted to anymore because there wasn't enough thickness.
That was another thing too. I had one barber who would do it the way I wanted to. Then he moved, and the other them would do it like, no, it doesn't fit you. So I just like it the way I like it, the way you do it right now. And just basically, that's it. So I don't know. Yeah. I just did it myself from then.
There you go. And as soon you get older and you're like, yeah, who gives a shit? Right. It's like, whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Hey, Jason. So it's interesting that you asked about not seeing a lot of early G.I. Joe art. And is it out there? It is, because first, let me tell you this. So for many, many years, it was not available. I don't know why. I can't tell you that. But I had a lot of it. The thing is that, and I'm talking in the early, I would say like the first 3 years of the new millennium. So I had a lot of it. But the thing is that I had a customer who really loved it, and he wanted it all, and he could afford it all at the time. I mean, it wasn't expensive at the time. I think I was selling them for, on average, 125 to 175 bucks a page. And so the G.I. Joe stuff never made it to my art drops on my website. So nobody really knew I had G.I. Joe art, because I would just contact this guy privately and he would just buy it all, After that, when I ran out of my supply, I have to admit I did not see any again for many, many years. But I'm surprised you haven't been seeing any, because over the last, I would say 2 years, certainly, there has been quite a lot that's been popping up at auctions. So a lot of pages that I would say come up at auctions, So yeah, I gotta take a look at the Heritage Archives. I'm sure you'll probably find some there. So So yeah, sorry, Tony. Let's get back to you.
No, don't worry about it. No, interesting.
Yeah.
You have a lot of facts, Ruben. You've been collecting for a long time, especially the art. I've probably been 9 or 10 years now, so it's like I'm kind of new at it still.
Oh, see, because I was going to ask you that. Because you know what? I didn't think it was even 9 or 10. I thought you were going to be more like kind of Kavi, like 5 or something, you know?
But I would say I started around 2011, 2012. I stopped collecting comic books. I'm like, I'm going like spending $100, $150 on a comic book. Let me just go into art. I just started picking up little pieces, not as heavy as I am now, but I just picking up little pieces here and there. Like that Wolverine piece I sent you by Bragada, that was like the first piece I picked up off of eBay. So.
Oh. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Hey, number one Marvel fan. Good to see you as always, sir. Yeah, and Jason, obviously, I'm sure you can see, just in case you miss it, West says there's a G.I. Joe 22 page on eBay ending in the day. So there you go. But so how was it that you discovered the art in the first place?
The first piece I picked up, I didn't know anything about art, was that Venom page from Bagley. It was the first piece I picked up. A kid, I was working at a comic book store. He came in with the page, and he's like, he wanted some comic books. He was trade for up. Oh no, he wanted cards. He had this page there. I was dealing with the cards at the time, so I was like, all right, I don't know what it was, like $150. Is that all right? I'm like, yeah, $150, and I got it. The manager's like, can I keep it? As I like Venom, so I kept the Venom piece for $150, and everything else. I gave him the cards. He bought cards with it. But that was like the first piece, but I had no clue. And all honesty, I could put that piece like in a folder. It was in a book, one of those big Marvel books. It was there for like the last 15, 20 years in the binder there. I never pulled it out again after that. It was just hanging around until I started collecting art. And like, I remembered I had a piece.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you said, sorry, the timeline got screwed up for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that you were saying that when right around the time that you decided you were going to stop buying comics, I thought you said that's when suddenly you came into this piece.
No, that first piece I would say maybe 91 or 92, that first piece. Okay, but I never got into art. I just picked it up, and it was a nice piece. It was like, it's Venom, full flash, like it's pretty cool. But I never thought, the value of anything. I had no clue what it was. Yeah. Eventually, we just went into a binder, and I didn't open it up till like maybe 2013 or 14 when I started getting into a little bit more into art. I found the piece again. It's just been stuck there for 15, 20 years in the book.
That's wild. And for all of you watching, so the Bagley piece he's talking about, I'm assuming it's the one that we're showing tonight, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! It happens to be the last piece we're going to show tonight. It's the last one it's the last one I've queued up. You guys are going to flip now that you know his story, that he picked this up like 32 years ago randomly for $100 and whatever in a kind of trade at a comic shop. That's crazy. So you guys are going to flip. That's awesome. Okay. So that's great. And you know what's funny? Another little coincidence, Tony, between you and I, aside from being the same age, starting reading comics at the same time, I also got my first piece of art. It was either the summer of 90 or 91. I've never been able to remember exactly, but it was 90 or 91. And it was in New York, actually. I took a trip to New York. Yeah, nice, and it was at a con in New York. And just like you, I also, I liked it and I appreciated it.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I came back home to Montreal and I'm like, there's no art here. So I can't get into it. I'm like, whatever, it's just, I never thought of it. I didn't think of it much. I mean, I knew I had it. I never forgot it. I knew I had it, but it was just like, okay, it's just this one piece, whatever I have, until then. In the later 90s, like 97, I discovered original art on eBay, and suddenly that's when I was, interesting, So that's
cool. Look, I'm coming from the Bronx. I've been raised in the Bronx. Like the store was out in Fort Washington, very like a lot of Dominican area, a lot of Hispanic area. No one knew about art, but he had a piece, he had a page. I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. Like $150 sounds fair. Like whatever. Like I'll do it.
And that's a fortune back then, because back then for $150, you could get a lot of great back issues.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. But he
Yeah, yeah.
wanted cards. So I was the guy. I was the card guy.
Card
So
guy.
I worked out a deal. It sounds fine. And I talked to the owners like, yeah, they didn't care. So I kept the piece. And I'm like, all right, because I wanted it.
No, that's awesome. It's a great story. Hey, Nick, good to see you, sir. I appreciate it. Love it. Thank you very much. Please hit the like, everybody, as Nick is asking. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And thank you, as always, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. But yeah, sorry, what are you saying, Nick? Family time, run it first, please.
No, he wants the last piece first. I think that's what he meant.
Oh, yeah, right. He wants to see the bag. Sorry, man. You'll have to catch it on rewind. Whatever, man. I've already I queued them up the way I've queued them up, and that's how it's gonna go. But yeah. So there you go. Oh, another friend of yours has come in, Tony, Princess of Comic Games. Do you know?
Oh God, hi Princess.
Oh God, who's Princess?
All right. She's gonna cause trouble. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
All right,
She's a troublemaker.
It is a she. It's not just a picture of a.
No, it's a she. It's a she. Yeah, it's a she.
I just gotta check, Princess, because there's guys who put pictures of females, so you just never know. But okay, Tony says you're a troublemaker. I'll be the judge of that. What else? Oh, okay, and I guess Kavi knows her too, so that's cool. Well, thank you for dropping in, Princess, and supporting your guy. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so. Oh, and my friend, hold on, like for Rubén DaCollector. Hey, Dwayne's a pain. Been a while, man. Good to see you on one of my shows. Good to see you, dude. What was up? I wanted to see here. Lowell, there you are. Great to hear from the Bronx. Originally from Brooklyn myself. I still like fucking. I appreciate it, Lowell. Good to see you, sir.
Brooklyn, Bronx, all the same, man. New York City, man. New York City. It's like Kavi, New York City.
CJ, I do not know Princess. I mean, unless she tells me I know her, I don't think so.
I cannot know Princess. Princess is very famous. She's an influencer.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I don't follow influencers. I'm sorry. I'm older that way. It's what it is, Hey, Ron Shepard in the house. Good to see you, sir. Kavi, what are you saying? But that was so long ago, I can't remember 100%. What was so long ago? Oh, that I think Tony showed the Bagley on his. Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah, it's possible, but exactly. But our audience here doesn't know Tony, so this they wouldn't have seen it, except maybe Jeff Wedding, a few guys maybe. But even I don't remember him showing it. So he may have done it and then I forgot. I don't know, But okay, guys, let us get into the art. Really appreciate. Thank you, by the way, Tony. Thanks for this story.
No problem. Thank you for joining. Thank you for asking me. I'm like,
yeah, no worries.
I seen your other guests. They have like Steranko, they have Kirby, they have all this stuff. I don't have anything.
Man,
I'm more of a modern guy.
Nah, man. Listen, if you actually look through, I don't mean watch, but just look through the video headers that I have, like the thumbnails on the channel, you'll notice for a while. I think I must have had, I think it was at least 4 or 5 guests in a row who were collectors for 3 years or less, and were primarily more modern type stuff as well, contemporary, just like you. So. Yeah, no, I've never been one of those, just because I'm older or whatever, and I've been around for a long time with the art, I'm not just into the vintage stuff or whatever. Right. Yeah. I want to give everybody their time to shine, no matter what they're into. And it's fun. That's what makes the hobby fun. It's the variety, right? That's the spice of life, man.
Yeah, especially if we can find a good piece,
Yeah, for sure. So, we got Geeks and Drinks. I know Geeks and Drinks from Kavi's show. So, what's up? Good to see you, sir. Thanks for coming in and supporting your pal. And, Rick, the Rickster. Kirby's? We don't need no stinking Kirby's. Well, I don't got any Kirby's. Don't got any anyway. So, it's not like I can show them either, right? So, but Rick, if you've got some and you ever want to come on, you're definitely welcome. You're more than welcome, and you know that. Exactly, CJ. Exactly. I'm the non-judger. Exactly. I mean, I'm in it for everybody. So there you go. All right, guys. So let us get into this. Thanks again for sharing the story, Tony. Really appreciate that, because that's, like I said, it helps people put a little bit of a, background to the name and to the face or whatever, it's a lot more fun that way. So rather than, I know some people just, let's just show art. And it's more about, I'm in it for the people, so.
Okay.
All right. So everybody, I hope you're all ready, and we are going to get rid of this. Thank you very much. And why don't we dive into the first piece here? And let me get to that. Then, yes. Okay. So this one, I just want to make a quick comment, and then you can let me know what you got to say about this one. Okay. So the first one, everybody, is the cover to X-Men #1 from 2013 series, and it's by Ed McGuinness. And all I want to say, Tony, is I gotta tell you, I looked at it and I was like, if I didn't know it was McGuinness, I would not have guessed. I literally was like, is that McGuinness? Like, is that really McGuinness? Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't look like his usual style. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like a usual style. So was McGuinness, but the Sarlacc was beautiful. Yeah. I saw the piece there. I think I picked this off of eBay at one point. I got it. The book, though, the variant, I think it was only released in England for some reason, because all I could find is people from England selling this book. So I had to buy it from England. Yeah, I couldn't find it in the States. No one in the States had it. All I could find is England listings from the UK. So I ended up purchasing it. I'm not sure it was a limited something over there, but it was such a beautiful cover, beautiful piece that I had to take it,
Yeah. No,
but it doesn't look like his usual style, but but it said McGuinness and everything was McGuinness, so why not? It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And CJ, a lot of the comments are coming in that a lot of people are liking it. So very striking page, beautiful, awesome cover piece. There you go. See, look. So check out what Marcus is saying. So he says store variant. That's that's what I'm thinking, right? But the thing is, if you look at it, it's got that logo at the bottom that says limited edition comics and with an X. Yeah, so it does look like that would be the name probably of a comic shop, right? And it's and since you were only seeing the sellers in the UK sell it, that tells me more than likely it was a store variant from a store in the UK,
Most likely. I mean, like I said, I just saw the page, and I like McGuinness a lot because of it. When they picked up the Hulk run, I was picking up some of those pieces there, and it just came across. I'm like, a beautiful piece. I like Sarlacc. It was so I just ended up getting it. And like I said, the book, I didn't realize until the book later on that everything came from the UK. So maybe it was a store. Never thought about it until now that it was probably a store variant for probably the UK.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. I would think so. You do like them thigh lock covers. Good one, Matt. If I can call you Matt. I don't know if you go by Matthew or Matt. What you can tell me, Tony, does he go by Matthew or Matt?
Yeah, you call him Matt. I guess you call him Matt. I mean, he helped me out to go into Whatnot. So he's a great guy. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Well, we're all good people here too. And it's another reason why I wanted to do this with you, Tony, because I've said it on my show a few times that there's an obvious demarcation line in between what I call my hobby, the guys who are only art guys, and what I call your side of the hobby, where it's comic guys who started to get into art, and maybe most of them still do both or whatever.
Yeah, I still do both.
You know what I mean, right? And it's like most of those guys hang with the comic guys socially, and the guys on my side hang with the guys who primarily do only art, So it's kind of, I thought this is a kind of a cool way to merge both and bring us together a little bit, So that's cool. So excellent. So very cool piece. Oh, and just so you guys know, every now and then, guys, your guys and gals, you're going to see pieces where there's light glare, photographic glare. That's because Tony is using a phone camera, not a scanner. So I've tried where possible to try to dampen some of those pieces. But every now and then, sorry, you're going to see a little bit of a glare that I couldn't do anything about. But
Yeah, I'm not a high roller like Kavi buying scanners all around, so I'm not like that.
Hey, I don't know, man. If that link at 339 is what you call high rolling, especially with the collection you have, brother.
That's a page, man.
Yeah, I know it is, but once it's been invested, I'm telling you, you forget quickly, and once you soon enough get that first page after the scanner, you'll be glad you had the scanner. Believe me on that.
Okay.
But hey, I ain't gonna push it. Alrighty. So why don't we go to your second piece, and that is going back a little bit of a ways, about 30 years or so. And a former Montreal artist, Jeff Isherwood from Doctor Strange. He did a great run on Doctor Strange from going back to 1993.
Yeah, I wasn't a big Doctor Strange fan, but sometimes just pieces just pop out. I like the way the cover looked. I think I bought this on one of the auctions on the comic art auctions, and I ended up winning it. I was really happy. It was a beautiful piece, and I just liked the way it looked, and when it was on and in the thing there. So
okay,
nothing specific about Doctor Strange or anything. Just based on I like it.
Yeah, it's funny because over the years, I don't know what it is about Doctor Strange, but I got to tell you, man, I have met several collectors who own Doctor Strange art and have told me the same thing you just told everybody, that, they're not particularly necessarily Doctor Strange fans, but, they found the page. They just kind of liked how it looked. And okay, well, they pick it up anyways, So that's kind of a cool thing when you can being willing to pick up stuff that feature characters that you typically wouldn't really normally care about.
Right. It's like I picked up a Greg Land piece that was Iron Fist. It's a splash page of Iron Fist on the thing there. I don't like Iron Fist either, but the way it was drawn and everything else, I just picked it up, It was an unpublished piece, but it was just, I liked the way it looked, and I just ended up picking it up,
Yeah, no, I absolutely. I totally get that. I think everybody can kind of relate to that,
Yeah.
And CJ, I mean,
yes, I agree with that.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, that's usually the case. I find,
This is the first time I'm seeing it in color, and I like the black and white better than the color.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow. Okay. Oh, well, good. Cool, Tony. I mean, I'm glad that you came on to a show where I always do the slides this way.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you found it. I'm like, wow.
That's cool. Number one Marvel fan. I do love them scanners, and I will always push my friends to get them when they don't have them. I admit I'm a scanner pusher. I am. What can I say? I just love the presentation to be as good as it possibly can. It's so worth it. That's all I got to say. And look at Matthew. See, I agree. Sid, if I ever get a chance to buy a cover, black and white would be a choice. Well, yeah, there you go. And Comic Art Boston. So limited edition comics in the UK, raising money for the Sick Children's Trust charity from Ed McGuinness, limited to 3,500 copies. Wow.
Nice. Nice to know. Wow.
Yeah, that's even a little bit more special. Wow. So they actually did it to raise money for sick children. That is really, really cool. Wow. Fantastic. Yeah. So there you go, Tony. Awesome.
Thank you, Comic Art Boston. Thank you. That's a nice know.
Absolutely. Thank you. Cab, as everybody calls them, Cab for short. But yeah, absolutely. But that's what I love about the guys in the live chat crew. We're all knowledgeable, and it's not just me. Everybody helps each other out, and we drop knowledge on stuff that people talk about and people throw up on screen. So the more knowledge people can impart, the better for all of us, And there you go. He's thanking you. So
thank you.
Very, very cool. Okay, great. So yeah, really, really nice. Really nice. I always loved Isherwood's rendering. Like, I don't know if you remember, Tony, but like when he broke in probably when you and I were breaking in as readers, I mean, 83, 84. And he was primarily like an inker. He would be inking like Conan and other random books here and there, I always liked his rendering style. He never really got a lot of attention. It's funny that he never did. I don't know. Nobody seemed to ever really care about him. But interestingly enough, when the prices of the art started to take off a few years ago, like really take off, all of a sudden there was no stopping it. All of it, it was like Doctor Strange covers. Oh yeah, sure, $7,000 for that. I mean, Jeff Fisher would Doctor Strange covers 20 years ago, maybe 250.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, I don't think I paid that much for that piece right now, but again, that was then and is now. Like,
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, shit, I've seen Isherwood Doctor Strange pages go for over $2,000.
What? Jesus.
Yeah.
I didn't pay that much back then.
I'm telling you, the hobby is nuts, dude. The hobby is nuts. So, but all right, guys, let us get to the next one. This is the one you've not been waiting for, but this is the one you probably Kavi's been expecting. At least one of the ones he's been expecting. And let's check this one out. It's from Thanos Death Notes, first issue cover from just not only last year, but I believe like late in the year. I think November, December, right, Tony?
Yeah, I think this just came. Yeah, this just came out like 2-3 months ago. I think this issue. This recent. It's one of the recent pickups. It was on his recent site on the McGinnis site.
Yeah,
I love Thanos. I love the cover. I've missed out on some Thanos McGinnis pieces like covers a while back, so I ended up snatching this one. I love it.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got the hammer with the Infinity Stones on it. What more can you ask for?
Yeah, it's funny because I remember this was one of the pieces you showed on the episode of Hangout we did with Kavi, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I remember commenting. I was like, oh, but what's because I see. Is it just me or is Thor's hammer? Because it's Thor's. Is that Thor's hammer?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so isn't it typically? Wouldn't you typically expect it to be a little bit longer? It seems a little short, and that's why when I saw it when you showed it on Kavi's show, I wasn't like I didn't realize it was Thor's hammer because I was like, obviously the jewels were the gems were throwing me off, but I also felt like it looked so square. I was like in my head, I was like, okay, he's got some kind of weird hammer thing going there with some jewels, but it just seems shorter. Usually, I feel like it's supposed to be, more rectangular. I don't know.
Yeah. But today with the Thor storyline from a couple months ago, it ended that he saw his future where Thanos is going to come in with the hammer, with the Infinity Stones, and with I think like the living dead coming to him to kill Thor. So that's going to go on, I guess, in the next couple of months. That's the storyline is still developing, but really? This is how he has. Yeah, that's why he has that. That's why he has the hammer and the stones on there. So it's going to lead up into the next year, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, Knights of Old. Another one of the comic crew is here. Very cool to see. Good to see you, sir.
McFarlane Spider-Man. Nice.
And so just got the McFarlane Spider-Man artist edition. Yeah, those artist editions are they've always been fabulous. So CJ, see, this is what I love about my channel. Like I get these regulars here. CJ's like a longtime regular from the start, and he's always one of the guys busting my chops, making up new nicknames for me. So it's a pretty good one though. I'll give you that, CJ. But seriously, really, am I the only guy who thinks it's not long enough? It just seems like it's supposed to be longer. I don't know. But it looks really, really wicked, Tony. And I'm glad you finally, after missing out on so many pieces you wanted, you finally got this one. It kicks ass.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so very, very cool.
Welcome, that's welcome.
And Comic Art Boston makes a good point. It says, here, let me pop it up. To Thanos, everything is small. Well, pretty true. But not Tony. Comic Art Boston. Did you take a good look at my thumbnail for the tonight's video? I mean, I made him look like he's the leg breaker for Thanos. He doesn't look small next to Thanos. And what are you gonna make? Are you making fun? Every guy thinks their hammer isn't long enough. Nice, Jason. You dirty beast, you. Oh, that's hilarious. Excellent. Okay, and to be fair, yes, Murdoch. To be fair, Thanos has big hands. All right. That's funny. Oh, so Matthew's giving us a little bit of the background as well. So they introduced the new Infinity Stone in this. Oh, this is the story, right? So shown a couple years back, but they'll get into what it can do. Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks for the extra added info on the storyline. Okay, so from there, from what I would say Marvel's quintessential cosmic baddie, we're going to move over to DC, of which there is not much because Tony is more of a Marvel guy. But we're going to go over to what I would describe as, and you can argue with me if you want, people, DC's quintessential cosmic baddie. And this one's wicked. Oh, I love this one.
Yeah, I love this one too. So I had picked up a Thanos piece from a collector several years ago, and he offered me several pages that he was selling. This was one of them. And I just love the cover. You know, I was been looking for a Dark Side for a while, and this was just badass cover. It was at the interior page. It was badass, so I just had to take it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's not the cover. I know you focus mostly on covers and flashes, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's a title / credits splash. Those are always well popular and in demand, anyways. And most people do love them just as much as covers anyways, right? So but yeah, and I have to say too, I've been like I would say over the last 20-25 years, the Eddie Barrows Aber Ferreira team for me is one of my favorites. Like I just feel them together, and I give a lot of credit to Ferreira because I've seen Barrows occasionally ink himself, like on covers and such. And I got to tell you, I just don't find it quite as nice. And it's not shocking because, when you're a penciler, you don't have as much time to learn the craft of inking. Whereas Ferreira has always been an inker. But yeah, it's one of those things where to me, it's the team. It's got to be Barrows and Ferreira together. Right. And yeah, they just kick sweet.
And you can see either one. Not like the Aisha would. This is like either one, whether color or black and white, they both look good.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because, like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of the coloring in comics overall. But yes, when I was preparing the slides, I was like, man, I gotta say, this is one that I really love the colors for. Which is I feel guilty saying it because I'm always shitting on the colors in comics. But yeah, this one did a great job. I wish I could see. I can't see quite large enough who the color is because I'd like to give him a little bit of shine here. I see the names of some artists, but I can't see who cover. Just cover. I can't see where the coloring is. But anyways, whoever you are, Mr. Colorist on this piece, a wonderful job. Yeah, looks quite beautiful. And before I go away from this, just because bunch of comments got away from me here. Let's just see if there's any good ones. Yeah, it's Comic Art Boston. Of course, you're more of a Marvel guy too. Well, the majority of the hobby is really, if you want to be honest, right? See a trend. Tony likes the deep contrast. He does seem to like the stuff that has a lot of heavy blacks, that's for sure. But most of us do. I mean, it attracts the eye, right? The more black, the more, it attracts the eye. So that's not really surprising. It's not a surprising thing.
Yeah, Dennis is pissed, yeah.
And this is beautiful from an artistic standpoint. I would have gotten it too. I'm sure you would have. Dang, that's so cool. It is, absolutely. Thank you, sir, as always. He's pissed after a dentist visit. And yeah, Murdoch, a good inker is definitely worth their weight in good, absolutely. And Kavi says, they had 4 writers on that book. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a great Dark Side. And no, CJ's pissed the editor allowed so much copy over the art. Yeah, but it's over the chest. I mean, it's you can't really complain. It's well placed. It's well placed. Beautiful page. There you go. This works. Oh man, sorry, Kavi. I don't know if you're talking to us. Oh, the colorist, right? Okay. Thank you, Andrew Dollhouse. Never even heard of him. But Andrew, fantastic job, sir. If you ever watch this, kudos, many kudos to you. Definitely deserve it on this one for sure. Yeah. So thank you. And thank you too, Murdoch. I noticed that you also did that. Thanks for the, dropping knowledge as always, guys. I really appreciate you. And awesome, Rick. I love that. Dark Side of the Moon. That's very, very cool. And one writer for you, writer for each side. Okay, excellent. So from here, everybody, let us now move back to Marvel. And we will probably, if I'm not mistaken, be sticking with Marvel for the rest of the way. Let us get to yes. So this one, it is a Captain America pinup, published pinup from a Captain America issue from the turn of the century. What can you say about this, Tony?
This one I also picked up in auction.
Yeah.
I was looking for a Cap splash, and this was a beautiful splash, and I ended up winning it. I picked it up like 7 years ago, maybe 6, 7 years ago. So I would say that much. But that's basically it. I never saw the colored version of this. I've been looking for the book, but never really found it. There's too many Captain America versions, you know.
Yeah. With all the different volumes, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I've always said. To me, was like, out of all the mistakes that the American comic book industry made over the decades, to me, probably the biggest one. Well, okay, to me, the biggest one is, I think, not deciding to not making the decision to move away from the child's format of floppy monthly comics over to original graphic novel style presentation and delivery mechanism. But I would say the second, well, that's really, no, I guess that's the first one. That's the first one, the most important one to me, anyways. I would say the second biggest mistake to me was when they all started canceling all those long running titles that had been going on for, like, from the Silver Age, Golden Age, or whatever. This is thank you, Nick, by the way. This is a really wicked Captain America piece by Dan Jurgens, and the two Dans, Dan Jurgens and Dan Green. Red abs, and really strong red abs too. Thank you, of course, as always, Nick. And yeah, let me take a really quick moment, everybody, to give my buddy Nicky B a little shine, as well, as I always like to do. And just real quick, first I can here, where is it here? Everybody who doesn't know already, who is watching, if you're interested in art sales, please feel free to check out youtube.com/theexp. That is Nick Barucci's channel. And on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, every Friday, Nick does a show. He's the host of a show where he sells original art. It's a very casual and relaxed affair. So he's doing a lot of talking while he's selling. It's primarily to try to introduce more people into the original art hobby by offering cheaper, more affordable art. But having said that, there's also a lot of, occasionally anyways, higher end art as well. And I can show you guys here. Let me just, so you guys can put a name to the or a face to the name, I should say. There's Nicky B, that handsome fella. And there you go. So Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. And that is YouTube/TheEXP. So there you go, Nicky B. And I look forward to seeing you there this Friday. And it's a great way to finish off the week for those of you who work Monday to Friday. It's nice and relaxing. So it's a fun time. So there you go with that. And give me a second, everybody. And let me get back to, for a second, the comments, because I wanted to see that Comic Art Boston wants to let you know, Tony, that you have a great eye.
Thank you. It was affordable back then too. I mean, I can imagine what it was 20 years, 30 years ago with your art you picked up. Yeah. Well, you can imagine, because I've told you many a time on Kavi's shows, right? Mm-hmm.
When I drop a little bit of old pricing knowledge, right? Yeah, so you've got an idea. Yeah. Paulie P, yeah, I would have gone after every one of those pieces so far.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Yes.
And you know what, Tony? I kid you not. You should find on Comic Art Fans, he goes by Paul P, not Pappas, just Paul P. Find his gallery. I think when you see the shit in his gallery, you look at his collection. and you after you look at it and you see that he would love everything you have, it's a compliment, like the highest compliment. So
no, thank you. I'll look at it. Yeah,
yeah. And Rickster says White House wall-worthy. Wow, that's a compliment. Wow. And aren't collections now the best-selling comics? I mean, I know they sell well. I don't know if they're the best-selling or whatever, but like I said, Murdoch, I really wish it's about time they did it. I wish they just made it happen.
You're welcome.
Hoarder's Hide, yes. Welcome, Hoarder's Hide. Another one of the comic guys on that side of the aisle coming in to join forces with us in unison. I love it. I love it. So thank you all, and thank you all for hanging in and watching. A lot of your friends are here tonight, Tony. I can tell by the much higher than average number of viewers we currently have. So yeah. they're here because they love
a lot of pressure now. More pressure.
Nah, man, nah. It's all good. It's all good. It's all, it's just support. It's all love, right?
Yes.
So okay. So before we get to the next one, let me just real quick. Yes, Comic Art Boston. Nick's show is excellent. Affordable art that is really great. Exactly. Hoarder's Hide again. Hey, at least Hoarder's Hide. Not only does it come in for the first time, he's participating. I love that. Nick always tries to sell something that costs more than a house. What? Not on his show. Not on his show. But he'll give you 90 days to pay. Well, there you go. There you go. Great show. There you go. You're very welcome, sir. I appreciate you as always, of course. Knights of Old says he's still waiting for that Everett art to be offered. Nice. That's up to Nick. I won't even touch that one. And Paulie P says I made him blush. Well, there you go. Okay. No worries. All right, guys. Let's go on to the next piece. And we go from Captain America over to another one of, along with Thanos, what I think is another one of Tony's favorites in terms of the characters. Here we go. Let's check this out. Tell me what you want to tell me about this one, Tony.
Carnage, absolute carnage. This one I got from a Felix comic art drop. Okay. I was lucky to snag this up. You know how fast they go sometimes, and everything was gone. I was able to kick up the splash page from him.
Yeah, that's wild. That like with like you said, the way that things go on those drops, it's wild that you were able to get the first page splash.
Yeah, I was able to grab it. I'm like, hey, sometimes I luck out, but this time, I was able to grab one. I was like, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, props to you, man. I mean, that's what of all of the ones to get lucky to grab. I mean, that's it's hard to have gotten a better one,
You kidding me? And one of the drops, I got 2 Thanos pieces from Felix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 2 splash pages. I didn't give it to there. It was a cover of Thanos 12 or 13 where he's battling the old Thanos, the old Thanos versus the very old Thanos.
Yeah.
And in the interior page was the splash page, which became the second print of the next cover. So both of them were basically ended up being cover pages. I won both of them in the drops, which was like miraculous. Like, oh my God, everything else was sold out. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Good fortune. Good fortune smiled on you on that day,
Yeah.
Kavi, apparently never. He's one of my better friends in this hobby and will not do it. He's just, I don't know, camera shy like a lot of people. So yeah, I would love to have him on, but it's a no-go, unfortunately. And Tony, look at Comic Art Boston. After you said too much pressure, more pressure. There's no pressure. We all love you.
Thank you, CAB. Cap is a cap, right? Thank you.
And
but I love this page. I was able to win it. I win it in the drop, which is basically, and it was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's beautiful. I love the fact that it's all like the way he overlaid the inset panels, Oh man, gosh. So it's like, it's one piece Cletus, one part Carnage, and then back and forth as you go down the page. It's like, wow, man. That's really, yeah, that's super, super wicked. And shout out to JP Mayer because yeah, I just dig the way he inks Stegman. I am not a fan, and sorry, Tony. As you noticed, I decided to just go with these two rather than also do another slide that would show the pencils.
Right. Well, no worries.
Yeah, I just figured, most people who are familiar with the Stegman stuff, they know how it's, created with the pencils on one page or whatever. And unfortunately, the pencils just didn't show well enough. I just figured it wouldn't show your art in the best light anyways, Yeah. So I figured better just show the finished piece,
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. So Polly P says, "Wow, great grab, Steg. Carnage is awesome. It definitely is." And Comic Guard Boston also saying that you grabbing those other pieces is quite a feat because, as I say, those drops are crazy. And yeah, absolutely. Murdoch says Marvel and DC need to do another amalgam because that Carnage looks like it's on Joker's body. It kind of does. It kind of does. And focus helped Tony. I don't know if it was more focus or a luck or a combination of both, man. What do you think, Tony?
A lot. I mean, basically, you just randomly all right, you got to submit it, then you got to hit another part. You got to go back again and submit for another page. So it's just all luck at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So
I picked up another Stegman cover from Felix this past week, so she could be coming in either Monday or Tuesday, hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday. So I picked up the cover to a variant for Stegman, so which is nice.
Oh,
Venom.
Nice.
Venom.
Oh, nice. We're up in Stain. That is all drawn, hand drawn.
All part of the page, yeah. All part of the page.
Yeah, all drawn, and it's just that's what I was saying. We're up in Stain about the way when I said overlay, I didn't mean physically, although of course it's possible sometimes on occasion. Even these days with the advent of computers, there are still times when the artists will draw on a different page and then cut out and it's literally pasted on. But that's a lot more rare these days. So when you see inset panels like this, that's all they are. They're referred to as inset panels, overlain like that on the primary image, which looks like the background, So yeah, it's just a cool effect. It looks like a really cool 3D effect, So yeah, very, very cool. And Kavi says, did he ink over himself on the new cover pickup, Tony?
Stegman? I don't know. I haven't gotten it in yet, so I need to see it. But it looks like it's all inked already, so I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, but if it was done the way he normally works, wouldn't you have been shown the pencil piece plus the Mayer ink?
No, when he does the drops, all he sees that one piece that you showed right now.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he doesn't show both of them. I didn't realize there were two until I got it. I never. This is my first Stegman piece, so I didn't realize that was what it was going on.
So you didn't even know how he worked.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I just learned it right now. Like 5 minutes when you tell it. I didn't.
Awesome, man. Once again, glad to drop a little knowledge. That's awesome. All right, everybody. Let us move on to the next piece. And that is very similar. You'll see the way I line some of these up, kind of a similar layout. It's kind of a funny one by a kind of what I always like to call an alternative artist. Mike Allred doing a Deadpool number 10 cover from a couple of years back.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There's a reason why I picked up this one. I don't know if anyone can notice the difference in the two. From the final piece to the cover, they edited it.
The first time we see Deadpool's balls. That's
there you go.
He's got a set of balls on him. I mean, holy smokes. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I saw that.
I got this from Anthony from New Jersey. He had it in his portfolio there. I saw that. I had to get it. It was just basically a funny piece. Like you put it on the wall there and you can talk about it. It's a conversation piece. You can see,
yeah,
Deadpool's balls.
Yeah. like it's such a shame. Like honestly, like I know obviously it's Marvel. You couldn't do it, but it's such a shame that it didn't make it into print, right? Like
yeah, definitely.
Like how awesome would it have been if they would at least have maybe I don't know, made like a limited 1,000 copy run of that. Oh my God, that is so good.
So yeah, it's just a big conversation piece. I love Deadpool, and I'm like, you know what? It's a cool cover. Why not?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's as Marcus says, it's baller. Does Oliver do anything that isn't Marvel anymore? I guess he goes where the money is, Murdoch. I don't know what to tell you. But no, yeah, that's fantastic. A good, funny piece. And the thing about it also for me, Tony, what you're saying, it is very much a conversation piece, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Like I've bought pieces where I thought, okay, maybe it's not what I would typically buy, but for this reason alone, I'm buying it because it's going to be conversational. People every time they see it, they're going to talk about it, laugh about it, or whatever, Yeah. So for that reason alone, it's definitely.
Yeah, that's one of the pieces on my wall. Because I like it, man. It's a conversation piece.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let us go on to what do we got now? Okay, so we're gonna go back into the land of symbiotes, everybody, and this one is a color piece. Well, why don't you give us a little background about this one, Tony?
Kirkham. I saw this piece where Anthony had it. Once I think when COVID ended, I was with Cavi. We went to one of the comic book art shows in New Jersey, and he had it there. I took a picture of it. I loved the way the piece looked. 1 year later, he still had it there. I'm like, you know what? Let me go for it. I talked it out with Anthony, did a payment plan on it, and I picked it up. I love Venom. My first Spider-Man cover too, along with it. So yeah, I had to get it.
Yeah, it's very, very, very cool. Would you be willing to share? I mean, you don't have to. Don't be shy if you don't want to. Would you be willing to share? And it's only because I'm curious. What something like this would run?
In the end, it was like 4,500. I think it was.
Okay, and
I think it was that.
And, yeah, somewhere around there. That's fine. That's fine. Am I in the ballpark? Like, am I assuming correctly when I say that, like, most of his covers, well, let's say most of his covers with the most popular characters, do they tend to be like in that $4,000 to like $8,000 range?
You know what? I don't know too much about Kirkham's art, like in the sense of the cover art and everything else. I don't know what they go for. I think it might have been just a little bit more he's asking for it. But you know what? With the payment plan and everything else, and I love the cover, the way it looked. Like I said, I saw it a year prior and I wanted it, but it was at the end of COVID. Just starting out. Like you had to regroup your funds again. By a year later, okay, I had enough to talk with Anthony. I think he wanted $5,000 for it. We got it down to 4,500. Did a payment plan with him, and if I'm able to do that, to do all 4,500 in one shot, it's not workable for me at that point. But with a payment plan here and there, yeah. Like I said, I wanted it. I love the piece. It looks amazing. So
according to
I wish it was practically tricky. Yeah, maybe for you and not for me, man.
That's good. No, I love it. My friends that are always here in the chat always, they like to bust my balls. I like to bust theirs, and it's cool to see that you guys do the same with each other. So,
a lot of the covers, and when you think about it, the way the art is these days, it's like about maybe like 3,000 for like a variant, and then for a regular cover, it might be a little bit more. So, I'm in the ballpark. It's colored. It's Kirkham. It has Venom and Spidey. I mean, why not? It's going for me. I'm not looking to resell it or anything else. It's my piece. So you buy what you like. And that's the whole thing. I ended up buying what I like.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And in fact, many times on many of my shows, I've said that. Nick in the chat many times, not only in the chat of my show, but as a host of his own show, we've all proclaimed the same thing. And man, you really got to focus on buying what you love,
right?
More than thinking of it as, oh, well, let me try to pick the one I think is going to be worth more in a couple of years. If you buy what you love, you'll be way better off. Because look, in most cases, you still are going to have it ultimately be worth more than you paid for it in the future anyways. So might as well focus on something that you'll really love more than not so much, right?
Right. Since Anthony also offered a payment plan for it, I mean, it worked out compared to if I have to throw it all at one shot. I mean, I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I really couldn't do it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And Common Ground Boston says, absolutely, just buy what you love and you'll always be a winner. It's very
Exactly.
true.
Totally agree.
And aloha, Carl. Are you finally drying out?
Yeah.
Are you finally drying out in Maui, Carl? Complaining about the rain. This guy's in Hawaii. Sorry, Hawaii, and he's complaining last week that he's like soaked in rain because he's it's raining there. It's like you're in Hawaii. And we're here like you and you and me now, right? We're in the Northeast, buried in snow and shit. This guy's complaining because it was raining and he's in Hawaii. But I'm just busting your chops as always, Carl. You know that. That is funny. But yeah, payment plans, they work as long as you don't abuse them too, And what else do we got here? Murdoch, happy when a piece I buy goes up in value. We all are. That said, I buy what I like first. Right? Exactly. And Comic Guard Boston, agree with Ruben, as it has turned out, the prices of original art keep climbing. Exactly. So many a millionaire has been minted in this hobby. And I am not exaggerating for those of you who are only in this hobby for the last few years. I am not kidding. Many of the people who started, 15, 20 years ago or more are, and I don't mean, I don't mean in terms of their total net worth. I'm talking about many people have, just with the collections of comic art, become millionaires and multimillionaires. Like it's astonishing. That tells a lot about just how much the
but see that I have to sell my pieces. It hurts me right now. You know what I mean? It hurt. I'm collecting because I love it. That's basically it.
I know. I know. Believe me, we all know. We all know. We all feel it, right? So that's it. Everything I buy goes up in value in my mind. No. It goes up in value in your bank account and in within the actual pieces that you have. So let's be honest here. So David from Australia, need payment plans, soothes the wife. Hey, whatever it takes, right? If it works, if it's otherwise a no-go because of the wife, do what you got to do is what I say, So yeah, that's funny. Murdoch says, heck, I bought my Alien versus Predator page for $50. Been offered $6,000. That said, my wife will sell it when I'm dead. Hey man, you got in early enough. So that's it. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, even you, Tony, I mean, you're not, like I said, you're not really like a rookie, like a lot of the guys who are, between 2 and 5 years, let's say, and they're not rookies either anymore at 5 years, but you at a decade or so, you're a veteran now, even you, I mean, the stuff that you were buying 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years, it's all been going up in price, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, of course we hate it because it means that everything we want to buy now also costs too much, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, even if I first started and buying early, like, like the higher end artists like Kirby or Steranko or, Art Adams. I mean, I wish I would have bought it back then, but, I didn't have the funds for that. Now I have the funds for it, but those are just gone out of reach. But something cheaper too. I'd rather have a splash page or a cover, save a little bit extra than have just internal panels of something, That's me personally. I do pick up internal panels of, the Venom, the symbiotes, Deadpool. I'll pick up those panels. I pick up panels like that, Vampirella, stuff like that. But, but overall, I personally like the splash pages, as you see here in the covers.
Yeah, absolutely. And have a good night, Paulie P. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Paul. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night. It was great to see you again here for the first time in forever. Yeah, so have a good one. Okay, and mi hermano Alberto from the West Coast. What's up? Watching this from, you're in India, so that's where you were. Holy crap. I knew you were leaving town. I just wasn't sure where you were going. Wow. Almost 8 a.m. in India. great art being shown today, and not just because there was a cat piece. he's
Good morning.
He's a super cap lover. He's the hobby's foremost Captain America collector. So that's awesome. Well, thank you for making the effort to tune in while you're all the way out across the other side of the planet. Thank you, Alberto. That is so awesome. Thank you, Polly P. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. And let me see. Alberto in the house. Okay, so hey, Stanley, I was waiting for you. Stanley, man, come on, dude. You're always coming in late. What's happening? Stanley's always the man with the questions. All right. Does Tony ever get disheartened? Other collectors have pieces that he really wants.
No, I like looking at them. You know, I love looking at the art. I get disheartened when I see a piece that I wanted. I can't get it right now. You know, then when I have the funds for it, it's gone already. I'm like, shit, it happened a couple of times already. The Doom piece, which I didn't show, I picked up a limp Doom piece. I've seen two others I was looking at. You know, it was a little bit more expensive, those pieces. I didn't have the money for it because they were looking to get it right then. When the time I had the money, gone, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, nothing else. I love looking at pieces. The first time I was on with Cavi, I was a little intimidated because the show before he had Straight Flexing. He was showing off pieces, you know. Yeah, Kirby. Oh, let me pull out this Michelangelo from the floor. He was going all over the place. I'm like, this dude has all these incredible pieces from old time artists. I'm like, I have like new stuff. I'm like, what the hell can I show? You know, like I was intimidated. You know.
Yeah.
But besides that, I love looking at it. You know, I don't envy anybody.
Yeah. Well, there you go, Stanley. Question answered. Have a safe travel back to the mainland over here, Alberto. Look forward to you coming back. And as yes, as ML Mikhail says, don't drink the water. Hey, shit, you can't even drink water that's not bottled somewhere as close by as Mexico, for crying out loud. Yeah. Shit, or Flint, Michigan, for that matter. Okay, so yeah. So, Comic Art Boston wants to give you sending you a little message again, Tony. He says, better watch your captain. He's eyeing it. Well, no, see, Comic Art Boston, Alberto just came in. He just came in, so he didn't. I don't think. Did he see it? I don't think he saw the cat piece. So whatever. He'll have to go rewind a bit if he wants to see it, and then he may contact you, Tony. I don't think so. Let me see if. Oh, okay. Comic Art Boston says, Tony, it happens to all of us. There's always more desirable artwork over the horizon, though. It's true.
Exactly. And it's always something popping up, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's why Murdoch has separate savings account for things like art, computer parts, and other stuff. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, as I always say, you know. And Alberto, yeah, you can't beat yourself over pieces that you miss out on. Other pieces will always come up. Very true. Very, very true. Nothing ever gets by this guy. I did see it. That is awesome. And Carl, I was strictly a superhero art collector, but almost 20 years ago, I got blindsided with Bill Wogan art, the Katie King guy. At that time, I never heard of Bill Wogan, and now his art is my favorite.
Nice.
That's awesome, right? It's whatever floats your
boat. Yeah, exactly.
Who cares, right? Like, you can't be collecting, even though people do. You can't be collecting for other people, right? So you can get the applause, the back patting, and the praise from other collectors. Like, who cares, right? You gotta love it, you know. So that's it. And okay, so let us go on to the next piece. Marcus says that Mrs. Murdoch will catch this on rewind. She's gonna catch you, Murdoch. The Jurgens called out to him. It did, clearly. Nothing. It's like he's got that Captain America radar, you know? Okay, so let's go to the next piece. And I'm shocked, by the way, I tell you, that nobody, including Tony, the Bronx Bomber himself, has noticed that I'm suddenly wearing a New York Yankees.
I noticed that a little while ago. I wasn't sure like you had it in the beginning. I'm like, I don't think I missed it. But yeah, I noticed it.
I was wearing this dark blue hoodie thing.
Exactly. Okay. I appreciate it.
That's for you, my friend. That's for you.
Thank you.
And all right, everyone, let us go back into the images and check out some more kick-ass art from Tony's collection. So we're going to go once again back to one of his favorite characters. Tell me about this one, Tony. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
Oh, okay. This one I picked up off of Ron Lim. It was a New Jersey show. I think in 2021. I'm not sure when it was, right? I think it was before COVID. Yeah, right before COVID, the New Jersey show. Went to the show. There was nobody for Lim there, and I went up to Lim, had some comic books. He had a portfolio. So this is I picked up two covers from him. This was the first cover I picked up off of Lim. So like, can you do like the whole thing? I'll come back with the rest of the money. He had it at a good price and came back the next day and paid off the rest for the second piece. So this was the first piece. I loved it. I got it off of Ron Lim in the New Jersey show. I think in 2000 or 2020, 20 or 22, 21. I think right before COVID, it was that New Jersey show. Right before COVID. So.
Okay. So just before COVID, yeah.
Yeah, and this is all pencils, and I loved it, and it was like great. It looked great in the pencils.
Yeah. Nice and tight and dark. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's beautiful. Yeah. And do you happen to know anything about what's going on? Like why he looks like he's in his own coffin or something?
No, you know what? No, like I don't pick up Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
Again, because it's Thanos and Ron Lim, I just picked it up, but not sure what's going on. It is a variant. And a lot of the covers I'm able to pick up are variants, and none of them have been like the first time covers. But again, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think they had Thanos in the cover there in the regular version, but I'm not sure. So,
right.
Like I said, a lot of the covers are art pieces. I just see that, like I see it, I love it. I'll look for the comic book later on if I'm not. The only one I could tell you was the McGinnis one that I've been collecting Thanos, or collecting Hulk. I have all those issues basically.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's very, very, very cool. So, all right. And Comic Art Boston also says, it's a shame that I will need to go soon. It is a shame. I always love it when you're here, but you know that already, sir. And I appreciate every single second you're able to be here. And
thank you. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, as always. So, but don't worry, as always, you never need to apologize, Comic Art Boston. You know that, and even though you still will, I know you always will, but you don't have to. It's definitely so not needed. I always appreciate you and everything that you do to support me and my efforts. So thank you so much. Hey, Andy E, what's up, buddy? Checking in from work.
Evening,
cool, man.
Andy. Evening. Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate it, especially when you're checking in from work. That's risking getting fired and stuff like that. We always appreciate that, So that's awesome. And here we go. Kavi's going to drop some knowledge. Thanos died in Marvel Comics storylines around that period. Oh, really? Okay.
He's always dying.
Yeah, who doesn't die in comics, right? So that's like a cosmic funeral coffin, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what it is, right? And where's the Rickster's comment? Thanos is in stasis, got to Infinity Stoned. Nice. Yeah, he OD'd on those stones. That is awesome. Send Thanos off to Genesis. Okay. All right. So very, very cool. Always a blast to see more Ron Lim Thanos. Now that he's, for the last 30 plus years been so associated with the character.
Yes, and I saw it on his portfolio there. He was selling it. Like, I gotta have that one and the other Thanos piece. I was like, those just popped out. I'm like, I gotta have them. Especially it's right from Lim, like what the hell, I can't go wrong.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So from Thanos, we're gonna go back again to Symbiote Land, let's call it. But this one is a weird one. For those of you who don't follow the last few years of comics, you will hopefully, I don't know, actually, given what you've said about some of the pieces so far, Tony, I'm not even sure you will know what the hell's going on here. But if you do, please let us know. But it's freaky and wild. Here we go. Let's check this out. By Weapon X #8 cover by Greg Land. Hulk Vereen kind of thing happening here.
Yeah. So again, this is like in the Marvel comics, they had variants with venomized villains, venomized heroes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Captain America, you have him in one in a variant that was venomized, or Doctor Strange who was venomized. Here you had the Weapon X character who was venomized. So
Okay.
that's basically just a variant. It's just it doesn't part. It's not part of the story. It's just one of those covers that they did it for Phoenix, they did it for Carnage. Green Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane variant covers of those characters for all the titles of the Marvel series.
Okay. Okay. That's cool.
But just again, Venomize looks badass. It's Greg Land.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Another pickup.
For sure. And thank you, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Have a good dinner. I appreciate you as always. And hopefully, if you can make it next week for the pre-Super Bowl show, hopefully I'll see you there. If not, the week after. I started hearing myself again all of a sudden. That's weird. So weird. Okay. Maybe maybe it happens when I get too close to the mic. I mean yeah. Okay. Anyways. Oh yeah, and let me get rid of that.
Have a good one.
And yeah, have a good one, man. Carl, I can't remember exactly, but I can tell you that was the first time that I noticed his work. So Ex Mutants, I looked inside. I was like, oh, this is a pretty cool new style, And I'm like, who is this guy? Oh, Ron Lim. Interesting. Never heard of this guy. Must be a new artist. And then not too long after that, he hit Marvel and.
Yeah, I noticed Lim's art in Captain America. I loved the way the Captain America looked and everything else during Lim. Then he went over to Stephen Starfire. I followed him there.
Yeah, it was a great run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And Hoarder's Hide asks, "Did you just pick this up, Tony?"
No, I picked it up a couple years ago from eBay. This is an eBay win. This one and another cover was an eBay win. He had like 4 covers, and I won 2 out of 4.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was off eBay. It was good. I don't remember what the other piece was, but I remember I picked this off at eBay.
Okay. And Kavi says, symbiote suits for all.
Yeah.
And you get a symbiote suit, and you get a symbiote suit. Everybody gets a symbiote suit. Okay, so excellent. Very, very cool. But let me just ask you, though, because I do want to ask, what do you think about the whole Hulkverine thing? Like, do you know anything about that? Like,
no, I don't. I don't know anything. I really don't read. That's not one of the titles I do read. Pick up. But yeah, I know it's another version of, I guess, Hulk symbiotes with Wolverine and just to make more money for Marvel. That's basically it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, everybody, let's check out the next piece. And the next piece is a really, I like this one. And actually, perfect timing, because I got to ask you guys. I did this slide in 2 different ways, and I'm going to ask you guys in a moment. Okay, so I'm going to show you the first slide. Here's the first one. Okay, it's a double page splash, very fantastic, and I'll show you guys something else after. But Tony, for now, go ahead and talk to us about this killer piece of art.
Right. I've been looking for an X-Men piece for a while, and this one popped up on eBay a couple of years ago, and I ended up winning it off of eBay. I mean, it was a beautiful piece. It has Wolverine. When I first started collecting, I wanted Wolverine pieces, and I really picked up not too many Wolverine pieces. Everything was more panels than like a splash page, and this was a splash page of the entire team. So I just ended up winning it on eBay, and I was so happy with it. This was like the back cover of the hardcover book, and this was the interior splash page. It was 2 and 3.
Okay, yeah, very cool. And Dwayne's a pain. Yeah, Emma Frost. It's so bizarre to see the team in action, and she's just standing there with her hands on her hips. It's just like, what the hell are you doing there? Maybe just stand and watch. Exactly. That's all she's got to do, right? And there you go. Like Marcus says it too. That's her power, to look hot.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. Exactly, CJ. Frantic beauty. Exactly. That's very, very cool. Okay, so guys, all of you watching and listening right now, I want you to put so this for double page splashes, okay? This is how I typically do the slides, right? But of course, because you're basically looking at 4 pages, right? Two original art pages put together, and then 2 printed versions put together. You get to see the art smaller than when I'm just showing like a standard page. So, guys, if you can just tell me just by entering into the chat, this style, right? Showing a double page in this style side by side with the color piece. Enter. This would be number 1. Tell me if you prefer this, or if you prefer that I do in the future, if I show double page splashes like this, which is separately, okay? And I would do this. So you see them bigger, and I would, toggle back and forth between them, whatever anybody wants to see.
Yeah, that looks good. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like that. Boom. You can toggle back and forth. It's like uncolored, colored. Uncolored, colored.
Yeah. But yeah, so this version of slide where the double page splashes have to be done on 2 separate slides, let's call this number 2. So if you guys can just enter number 1 or 2 and just to give me your preference. I just want to see what people prefer to look at, And let me look in the comments. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm seeing 2, 2, 2. Eric, what is up? This guy's literally like 15 blocks away from me. What's up, Eric? And literally one of only 2 guys I know in this city that are into art. So good to see you, my friend. We're up and staying also 2. Second away also. I'll do it 2. Wow. Dwayne's a pain. Maybe do 1, then get into both. Yeah, but you see, it also takes more work. So now everybody, because everybody likes 2. Yeah, I'll do twice the amount of work. That's fine. But now you want me to do 3 times the amount of work to make 3 slides. So this is really helpful. So thanks all. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's okay. I'll do it that way from now on. I think they both look good, but I think you can appreciate the art better with the second choices because it's bigger, So getting old, well, I'd rather see them separate. Okay, well, not okay. We'll call that as a number 2 for you again. Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Let us get into the next piece of art here in Tony's collection. And this one is, once again, to nobody's surprise at this point, let us take a look at
Thanos. This is the second Ronlin piece I picked up from him that day. Again, he had it in his portfolio. That one, this is the first one that stuck out on me. I'm like, I gotta have this one. So I ended up getting it from him.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man.
Yeah, grin. Sick grin of Thanos. I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. And Marcus, no, it's not it's not my park meetup, buddy. No. Eric is somebody I met just recently, and we went and had some lunch together because he bought a page from me. He bought one of the Action Comics pages from Perkins, and he, since I realized he was nearby, we met up for lunch, and they did the transaction, whatever, delivered them the art that way. But who knows? Maybe in the future he'll become one of our park buddies. But yeah, no, Tony. This, to be honest, this one, I like this one better. I mean, I do like them both, and I don't know. The other one's cool because of the fact that it's like I think of the other one as sarcophagus Thanos, but there's something about Thanos, the way he's more physically imposing when he's, when the camera is close up, zoomed in like that, and especially when he stands behind, a character that's much, much smaller than him. Yeah, and so Gamora, of course, Gamora being his daughter. I'm assuming it's, you never know with the crazy Marvel stories they come up with, but I'm assuming that they're still father and daughter. But yeah, just she's tiny compared to him. So for me to look at that, it's like, wow, it makes him so much, like I said, physically imposing. And yeah, like I said, the other one's cool in its own way because of the whole sarcophagus, floating in space thing. But Yeah, I don't know. Both of them like this. It looks like she's sitting in front of the mirror, and I don't know. I don't
It
know.
looks
He
like they're
just
doing a selfie, but she doesn't want a part of it, you know?
yeah, yeah. He wants no part of it. Yeah, yeah. It's really neat, really neat, really neat. And what we have, let's see. Can you do one where it dissolves into the original? I cannot. I don't even know if you're joking or being serious because I don't even know what you're actually trying to say.
I think what he wants is like I think you have the color one, and then it fades to the black and white, or
Oh,
vice versa, where it fades. It's like you see the
oh,
color pop up. I
oh,
think that's what he
yeah.
means.
Like I've seen some guys on Comic Art Fans in their description of the piece, they'll have yeah, they will have embedded the scan where it just keeps, yeah, like you say, morphing from the black and white into the color
Right.
and back and forth, right? Um, I don't know if I could do that on a scan, but I can tell you, Marcus, that I don't even know how to do that in general, so that I can put it like in the description of an online website. So it would be kind of cool, something to think about for the future if I can figure out if it's doable. And we're up in Stain says the original art looks much better, larger. Okay, well, yeah, I mean that's I get that. Thank you. It looks like it's pretty much a clean cut decision that you guys from now on will want to see DPSs, with 2 slides. So okay, I'll do it that way. Then have a wipe edit. Okay, so you know a heck of a lot more about this than I do, Marcus. So like I said, yeah, I'm not sure I have time to kind of look into how to do all that right now, but something for the future for sure. I appreciate you bringing it up. Again, smooth pencils. They definitely are.
Yes.
Yeah, really
I
nice.
mean, when I started collecting work, I looked at Lim's art, and it was just beautiful. The pencils and everything else. I was lucky to get these two, from him.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Alberto, I thought you had taken off already. Off to breakfast here. You'll watch the rest of the show later. Cool, man.
Thank you, Alberto. Gracias.
There you go. Let's see. And what do we got? We got here we go. So we're up and Stain is asking why some blue in the art. That is simply because some pencilers like to use a blue pencil, and it's like graphite, but it's just blue colored. And the reason for that is that, so typically when a penciler pencils a page with a regular pencil, and then if the let's say usually the pencil art will be inked. When the inker comes in to ink over top of the graphite, they don't always trace off every single pencil line, right? There's going to be a few stray lines, and once the ink dries, the inker has to erase all the stray lines that are still sticking out from underneath the inks. Otherwise, those stray pencil lines they'll show up in print, and you don't want that in a comic book, right? It's going to look terrible. And so what the blue pencil does, it allows the penciler, or I guess I should say the inker, ultimately, to not have to spend time erasing the page after it's been inked, because that color blue, for reasons that I cannot explain to you because I'm not a scientist, but when the camera is shooting the art for reproduction, the camera does not pick up that color of blue. And so you don't need to do any erasing when you use blue pencil. And so that's basically why blue pencil exists and why some pencilers like to use it. There you go. So yeah, Dwayne's a pain. Good one. She hates his singing. Awesome. Daddy, my hair looks like crap. Awesome. All right. Okay. So, well, Carl, there's no, we don't know unless you ask, the penciler or the inker or whatever. You don't really know, but typically it's simply that if the inker, if the final cover is going to be inked, in this day and age, they don't need to ink it over the pencils anymore. So in other words, rather than the penciler have to drop the cover in a FedEx box and FedEx it over to the inker, which of course wastes, a few days. And these guys are always on tight deadlines. They can instead just scan the art and send a scan of the art to the inker, and then the inker prints out the scan in blue line, just like that blue pencil I talked about. So he'll print out the scan onto a board of his own, and he'll just ink that board. So that's why if you hear, Carl, the terminology blue line a lot around the hobby, that's what that is. It's a printing of the original that they will ink over. And that's why the pencils in this case remain uninked.
Yeah, the pencils on Lib though are just awesome. I don't need it inked. It's nice that way.
Yeah. No, as long as you love it that way, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Alberto, I thought you were leaving for breakfast. Gets his art inked and colored digitally these days. Yeah, exactly. There you go. So there are no physical inks. Yeah, there you go. Okay. And go get some. I don't know exactly what the Indians eat for breakfast, but Mikhail's still here. Maybe he can tell us. Interesting to see the colors making choices. Yeah. And hey, Ian, you're back again. That is so cool. I know you'd love it. I just didn't think you'd see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does not inking affect prices? I mean, it's not like a hard, fast rule, Carl. It's not a hard, fast rule. It is, let me just come to you here. It's typically, yes.
Really?
Yeah, typically uninked covers that are pencils only, across the board. If you looked at the average ones and, you looked at them all and from all different artists, you would see overall, they do tend to garner less pricing. They charge less for them than they typically would if it was fully finished pencils and inks. Again, there are always exceptions to every rule, so not always, right? But yes, listen, perfect example, Ultimate Spider-Man, one of the hottest series for many, many years. Still to this day, arguably the single most popular character superhero of all time, or at least of the last 70, 60 years, whatever it's been. And yet, up until recently, and even still sometimes, those penciled covers, because they're all pencils only, those Bagley covers, you were getting them for like $1,500 to $1,800. In the meantime, covers from other Spidey titles, even not very popular ones or miniseries or whatever, pencils and inks, closer to $2,500, $3,000, whatever. Yeah. So typically, yeah, it definitely makes a difference. But again, there's
I guess it depends on the artist too. I seen, like, when I go to the shows, I see Mayhew's pencils. They're so beautiful. I'm like, you don't even need to do anything with those. I look at that, I'm like, damn, just leave it as is. Like, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you for sure. I feel that way too sometimes, but other times sometimes there's pencilers who they know it's going to be inked. Even if it's digital, doesn't matter. They know it's going to be inked. And some guys just don't do it as tight, right? They don't pencil as tightly as what you're seeing with Ron Lim here, right? And so they will leave a lot of the shading to the inker by just putting a few little X's, a bunch of little tiny X's.
I've seen those,
You've seen that, right? So that just indicates for the inker, okay, all this is going to be solid black, and that's the thing. So on those pieces, I'm like, yeah, it just doesn't present well, I like to study those pieces, but I can't enjoy them as much, like from a collecting standpoint, but pencils, if they're tighter and finished, I like it much more. But ultimately, I will say I also still prefer inked work. I like jet black ink. That's my preference to look at the art. And so Kavi is saying, dosas, he's talking about India, or idlis, or idlis? I have never heard of that. I've heard of dosas, but not the other one. Are common breakfast dishes, but there are a lot of different types of Indian cuisine, regional specifics. Okay, thanks, dude. I know I can always get the knowledge dropped on me. Awesome. I've never, and what's funny? I've been going to Indian restaurants for like years. I love it, but it's never the cuisine that offers dosas. And so I'm thinking that that it's the dosas
Region?
come. Sorry.
Maybe it's a region thing, or I guess
Yeah,
maybe
right,
those are
right,
for
right, right.
breakfast.
I think it's like northern India does one style and southern India does the other style. And so most of the Montreal Indian restaurants do the one style, but there's a few that do the dosas. I'm gonna have to go there and try at some point and give it a shot. If you have a sweet tooth, yeah, I do, but it depends on what it is. Ask for halwa. Okay, that's for you, Alberto. Tino says idli is a traditional savory Indian cake. Okay, all right. Well, thank you. And Kavi comes in with dosas are South Indian. Right. That's what I was thinking. Right. Right. That's what I seem to remember is all the restaurants I go to that have the same dishes. It's Northern India. So, okay. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And, but offered everywhere. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Excellent. See, that's what I love. Our shows can sometimes go off on tangents about like donuts, Indian food. You never know what you're going to get.
No, there's no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So let's go and check out the next piece, everyone. And the next one, this is cute. I love these fun. I love covers that represent fun. And here we go. Tell me about this one, dude.
It's Scotty Young. I got this from a Felix art drop too.
Okay, cool.
Scotty, Deadpool looks so. I love Scotty's art, and I was able to win one of his drops. I got the Scotty cover here, and boom, that's it. But beautiful. I love the way it is. You got Spider-Man, you got Firestar, Iceman, and Deadpool in the background there. Deadpool is shooting away, doing what he does best.
Yeah, for sure. The reason I tell you I love it more than anything is because, even before I bought my first comic at the age of 12 in 1982, in 1981, the year before, I fell in love with Spider-Man and his amazing friends on Saturday morning.
Oh, I love it.
You too, right? Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I remember his amazing friends. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. So I was, oh my God, I love that stuff. So when I saw this, and and what gets me, it's not just that the Spidey and his amazing friends are there. It's that the dialogue. I refuse to be his amazing friend. I just loved it. Oh God, a throwback to the Spidey and his amazing friends. Oh man, that made it for me. So it's a lot of fun. That's really, really cool.
I like Scotty's. I know some people hate it, some people like it. Too kiddie, but I like it. I like it a lot. It's my only piece, and
yeah, me too. Ian also says, "Awesome, love Scotty artwork. Lots of fun and design." Yeah, and that's very, very true. Yeah, no, it's. I will say it's funny. Like I'm somebody who I can get tired of things easy, like in too much quantities. Whether it's food, a certain type of movie or show, or music.
Yeah, music, definitely music.
Right. And so same thing with comic art. There was a time there where, if you remember, Scotty was doing, I don't know, it just felt like he was doing 50 covers a month, like every month for many months. And it was okay the first couple of months, but after a while, I'm just like, okay, I'm just Scotty Young out at this, it's just like too much, it's like cuteness overload kind of thing, but overall, yeah, I really love his whimsical style. I've often thought that Scotty Young, had he been born 20 years earlier, would have ultimately become, or earlier, would have ultimately become a syndicated newspaper strip cartoonist. He has that kind of style that, like, it has a very whimsical Calvin and Hobbes style, if you will.
All right, that's you got a point. I mean, it's a fun style, just like Hembeck's style from way back when. Hembeck, I love that style too. It's nice.
Yeah, I love it. And what about Grommet art? I don't know what you're saying here, Marcus. All right, cool. Let us check out another piece, everyone. And the next piece up for grabs. Ooh, this is an artist I'm a little familiar with. Why don't you tell me about this one? Because we're going cool. I set this up this way because we're going from one mercenary to another.
Mm-hmm. This one I picked up at auction. I wasn't familiar with Perkins art or with Domino is not one of my favorite, but I saw this piece I love the shading, the backgrounds, like the pencil work. You can see like the mirror there, reflection, the shadows. And I ended up winning this in auction. It was a beautiful piece. You know, again, I'm not a Domino fan or anything else like that, but the piece just stuck out on me. And Perkins art, I started looking for Perkins art after this one. It is beautiful. I love it. And I don't know. I just like his style, the way everything is, the darkness, the background. Like you see the reflection in the mirror there. Everything was like pretty amazing in this piece.
Yeah. That's what I mean, I love a lot of things about Mike's work, but like, you know, one of the key strengths in his art is it's very atmospheric, right? It's real. It's the realism, and combined with the atmosphere that he puts in with all the inks, you know, the shadow, the wash tones. It's fabulous, beautiful. I remember, I still remember selling this for the first time. You know, when the issue had just come out. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And Marcus, just wanted to say that I thank you. I appreciate that. You are right. Like I often say, there are exceptions to every rule, and I guess that's the exception for me. I do not get sick of Grummet's art. You can never get too much Grummet art, man. And let me see. CJ, love that page. So well done. Great illustration.
Yes.
And Jason says, great chiaroscuro on that piece. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Michael McIsaac, great character pose, very casual with a gun. Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, if we go through my Artquid pages, it would stick out because, again, it's Domino, you know, it's not part of what I usually collect, but I mean, I just like the art. I like Perkins' art. That's what made me go into looking for the Carnage pages later on.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And speaking of, boy, that's a doozy coming up soon, everybody. All right. But before we get to that, let us move on to the next piece, everyone. And that will be another Ed McGuinness piece, this time looking more like the traditional Ed McGuinness. And really cool. He did a good run on this title. Look at that.
Yeah, this one I picked up off a collector. Also, he had a couple of McGuinness pieces, and I picked up one. This is one of a few I picked up. I was reading. When I started getting back into comics, I started off with the Hulk run here. I just liked the artwork, the way the Red Hulk was drawn, the Green Hulk, and Thor came in. This page became available, and basically I had to have it in my collection along with some other other Hulk pieces, you know, of this run. It's very nice. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fabulous. It's fabulous. You got the once again fully blacked in background that makes the figures pop, but even they are very well shadowed in. It's just very powerful, you know, especially with the thunder and
the average size, and the hammer is right. Hammer's a good size now. What do you think about the hammer now? Too small, too big?
I got to go back to the CJ. Very nice. Is that a hammer size appropriate? You know what? It is. That's the thing. Don't you notice? It looks a little bit longer than the other one. The other one looks more like almost square. Oh, that's funny. Nailed it. You're probably talking about CJ busting my chops, Rickster. And Marcus says that that hammer is throbbing. Oh. That's funny. Okay, so very, very cool piece. And Stanley has come back after leaving us for a while, and he's come back to ask, has Tony had any great experiences meeting artists? Is he friends with any artists?
Well, when I started out with comic collecting, when I go to the cons, conventions before, like in 2000, I would have a little art book, little black and white book. I go to different artists and have them like draw, sketch this for me. I got Jay Lee at one point. I got McFarlane to sign the book. He didn't draw anything. I had a lot of artists there, so I did meet a lot of artists. Lately, I haven't gone to a lot of shows. Then, when the COVID started again, I started going out with Cavi, going to the comic book show up in New York, and basically going to the art shows. Ron Lim, I got lucky. I'm meeting Ron Lim a couple of years ago before the COVID at the New Jersey show. And again, there wasn't even a line there, so I could talk with him, converse with him. It was really nice. He'd sign some books. And then ended up getting a couple of people in, but basically that's it. Recently, I did pick up some artwork from a person who's doing it for Comic Exposure, some Sonia and some Vampirella pages, which I picked up recently. But basically, that's it. I haven't really met too many artists, like, you know.
Okay, cool. Well, there you go, Stanley. You got your answer. And Marcus has a question. Marcus says, "Does Tony do any? Do you? I guess he means, do you attend any comic art meetups, like with collectors that maybe meet up together just to?
No, I never heard about that. I'll be honest. When I started collecting, I didn't realize there were that many people collecting art. I mean, I knew there were people buying art, but I didn't really know like anybody in general. When I started posting the little book from Instagram, and I started putting up the rest of the ones on Instagram for a friend of mine. Right. That's where I met Take the Time Collectibles and Brian out in Florida, where he introduced me to Kavi, and then Kavi saw a lot of my work, and where I got into Kavi show, and a lot more people from the art community there. But I didn't realize there were many people in the area to do that.
Yeah,
I never looked for it. It was just more of an independent, looking for this, looking for that. Compared to comic books, everybody's collecting comic books. We got talking here and there. We go to the store together and blah blah blah. But I didn't know there were like any places where you could switch art, this and that. And it would be hard for me to switch a lot of these pieces up, So I don't know.
Oh no, yeah. Don't misunderstand. It's not about going to wheel and deal. It's just meeting up. Everybody brings a portfolio of their art, and it's just so everybody can take turns looking at each other's portfolios and just.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, never had the opportunity. Yeah. Like I said, Kavi's show, basically, and getting into Kavi's group there, where I met Tricky Trapster, and others like that. Basically, I didn't realize there was a network of everything. Then watching your shows, I see of a network, and I see like a lot of the older collectors, like they know each other, they know this and that, everything else going on. I'm, like I said, I'm more from the comic aspect, collecting what I like and being independent. Like I know that everybody has their things off on was it the Comic Art Forum, the SAF, is it CAF? You put their stuff up. Just for me, it's more work at this point. It was enough of work as Instagram putting it up. I'm like, am I going to go back and put it there? And like, whatever.
Well, that already answers CJ's question, right? So there you go.
Yeah, I don't have it. Only Instagram, and I put up whatever again on Instagram. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you got to go to Instagram, and that's why you'll see anybody curious. Right down in the description below, the only link I got for Tony included there is his Instagram account. But check that out. Hoarders, good people in the OA community, a few douchebags, but mostly good peeps. You know what though? But you know what though? It's true, but it's only as true as it is in any other segment of any other hobby. So including, like, believe me, I met tons of douchebags in the comic book hobby over the years, way more than in this hobby. Although, frankly, maybe that's as a result of the comic book side of things being, infinitely larger than just the original art, right? So obviously the proportion is going to be higher, but there's douchebags everywhere in every segment of society. So it is what it is. You just try to hook up with the cool people and hang out and with them. And the people that are, if you meet somebody you think is cool, and then they start being douchey, drop them like a hot potato, like
everybody's been great,
Yeah. Life's too short for any bullshit in the hobby, right? We do this for fun, right? So
that's it.
So you subbed to his IG account. Okay, cool.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. And yeah, Kavi, exactly what I was saying. True of a lot of collecting communities, and like I said, and society in general. If you get out there enough, and Hoarders Hide agrees. More douchebags in the comic book. Exactly. But as I said, it's hard. It's impossible to say whether that's just as a result of that being such a much larger hobby, right? So hard to say. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm loving the fact that Tony agreed to come by here today, because like I said, I still consider him more of a comic guy, because he hangs out more with guys who are still into buying comics and stuff. And I wanted to bridge our two worlds. And it starts by trying to do stuff like this. So ultimately, when this is all over tonight, hopefully, Tony, you've enjoyed it enough that you're not going to go running back to, I got to go back and stick with my comic dudes,
Oh, no, I love it.
That's awesome. Okay, and Ian, hanging out with fun collectors is a blast. Yeah, exactly. And CJ says jukebox and radios has tons of DB. What? Jukebox and radios, and you put it capitalized, has tons of DBs. Oh man, I don't know. Explain yourself. Sorry, CJ, I'm lost. More collectors. Yeah, there's more collectors. Yeah, in the comics, that's what you're saying. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, let us move on to the next piece, everyone. And from
that was my motorcycle passing by the house, probably.
Your stomach is grumbling, Tony, I think.
Yeah, you heard a motorcycle pass by.
Holy crap, man.
I am in the Bronx.
All right, cool. We're into the final home stretch, everybody. So our last few handful of pieces. And we are jumping in once again, back into the world of, you'll remember this if you happen to take a look at my thumbnails to see what art I put in the backgrounds. Thanos, number 12, page 20, splash by Germán Peralta from Argentina. What do you got to say about this one, Tony?
Peralta was a couple of two pieces I picked up from Felix Art Drop. This one I picked up from a collector who sold me the Dark Side piece. He also had this in his collection, and I ended up picking up this piece. It's just a badass piece where he's sitting on his throne there and looking all grim and miserable. So I gotta have it.
Well, I don't know if he's looking miserable. I think he's looking pretty happy. I mean,
okay.
He's looking pretty badass, is what I would say.
He's just badass, yeah. It's cover worthy, Ian.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I felt like, oh, this is going to be a good one, especially once I saw the picture you gave me to put on the thumbnail. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, this mofo is just like crossing his arms like he's pissed off. I've got to use this background for sure. I'm going to make it look like he's working for Thanos, man. Like, that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I picked that one. That's pretty cool. It's beautiful. Yeah, really, really nice. And I also really dig Germán's artwork.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, I picked up two covers from him also of the Thanos. That's the Thanos and the second printing of the Thanos piece. I didn't think I don't think I sent it to you, but there were so many pieces to choose from.
Yeah, and check it out. Marcus says kind of like what you're saying, right? Because it's cover style, right? With leaving a lot of space at the top, where you could cover the wires by the logo, and suddenly it's a cover. Yeah. Very, very cool. Thanos, absolutely. And you're absolutely right, Dino. Can't ever have too much Thanos art. Absolutely.
I agree. I tell you, two of my binders that I haven't really looked at. One of them is all Thanos. It's full already, so I haven't touched that one. I picked at it to put some here, but yeah.
One of the two binders that you said you had full earlier in the show at the beginning,
right?
Is full, nothing but Thanos.
Yeah, all Thanos.
Wow, dude. One day, because we got 4 pieces out of about 20. It's kind of a lot,
right?
But one day, if you want to come back, I would love to do, like, maybe we can do like another show and tell, just Thanos show and tell.
All right, no problem. I could do that. Whatever. I'm up for it.
Yeah,
I love showing the Thanos pieces. I love them.
Yeah, that's it. That's what matters. So cool.
Yeah.
All right, we can talk about that. Awesome. All right, everybody. So the next piece is going to be another one of those double page splashes, and I did what I did earlier, and I will show you. So first, I did this one. Right. And at first you're kind of like, ooh, there's a lot going on. What's happening here? What's happening? So rather than keep that one on the screen, I'm going to show these two, and you guys can probably appreciate it better. It's a Carnage number 2 from the 2016 series that Mike Perkins did. And he's going hog wild on this guy. And it's so killer. Look at that. Oh, geez whiz, man. I don't know. I shouldn't be the one talking. You go ahead and say something about this.
No, definitely. This is the second Carnage piece I picked up of Perkins. I just picked this up a couple of months ago off of eBay. He was asking for one price. I sent him an offer, and he accepted it. I got it for I think it was cheap for a double page Carnage page. I'm like, I thought I thought I was going to get nothing. And it was one of those deals where he's not going to send me anything. I got jerked. But I ended up getting the piece, and I was really happy about it. And it was a double page splash of Carnage. I like Perkins' art, so I've been looking for Carnage pieces, and I was lucky to get this one a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. I got to be completely and utterly honest with you and say that I don't. Once. So in all the time that I've been working with Mike, which I guess it's been 17, 18 years now, I have only once that I can remember ever bought back a page for myself that I had initially sold on his behalf.
Not really.
And it was a page from his Captain America run. And it had no Captain America on it, but it had Black Widow, and I just thought it was fantastic.
Right.
So I bought it back. But had I known that the guy you got this from still had this, I honestly, especially, I'm not going to say it out loud, but at the price that you got it for, I absolutely would have bought this back for myself. Like, yeah, you killed it on this piece, dude.
Yeah, like I said, I took a shot. I mean, it's worth, like I said, it was worth the price it was asking for. I always offer a price. Will you take it for this price? And he accepted it. I'm like, done deal. Yeah. You can't even.
Absolutely. Okay, my wife's going to bed. Bye. Good night, honey. I'll see you later. Have a good night.
Have a good night. The thing is, like, I love the Carnage run here. It was very dark, very like the way he should be done. Like a monster. Yeah. The whole thing was, it was a great run.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I always have said that. Yeah, they're cool. As like in the Spider-Man world or whatever. Yeah. But like I've always thought, man, a character which is like literally like it's like flowing liquid, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's so science fiction / horror, right? I always felt those characters really would lend themselves way better to that genre, science fiction or horror, and I thought it would be so much cooler if they would do them that way. So it was cool to see that with this series, at least that's how kind of Mike drew them,
Yes, dark and like terrifying in a sense. It's not the same like I'm a hero, I'm going to come here and there. It just
right. It was more about the horror, and you didn't think of him as a supervillain.
No. And like the other piece I think I talked about with you, he had like a half goat, like like Satan. He was in front of the dark hole book, very satanic looking. It's dark.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, very satanic. Yeah. Good word. Let me put something up here. Hoarderside says, I just brought a piece back from the Frame show that was I can't believe they accepted my offer piece. Oh, that's cool. It hurts to ask. There you go, Hoarders. Awesome. That's
the worst thing you can say is no or counter offer. With either counter offer, like, all right, just like if you knock off, you can save a couple bucks.
Well, but I will say, Hoarders, I would prefer, as a guy who has always been a collector but also a dealer, I would suggest to everyone listening that it's a little bit different in person. So if you're at a show, right, and it's a cash situation, I do agree that's fine. But in the online world, where you're going to reach out to somebody who's like a dealer with a website, you're going to come off more as a low-balling asshole to me. And to most people who are dealing. Again, I don't know what you offered, right? I don't know what discount you're talking about, obviously. But I mean, if it's like tremendously huge, yeah, you may come off bad in the online world. So you just got to, be careful with how you make the approaches, But yeah, in person, it's a little different because, the whole cash is king thing comes into play as well, All right, so let us go from there to couple more pieces, fellas. Couple more pieces, and then we're done. All right. So the one and only sequential page that Tony gave me for tonight, but it's fabulous, and I love this run. You guys should really check this run out just for the artwork. I never read it, so I don't even know if the run is good to read, but just for the artwork. Oh, check this out. Wolverine Origins 42, page 10. It's by Dougie Brathwaite and Bill Reinhold doing inks and washes. Just fantastic, man. What do you got to say about this
All
one,
right.
Tony?
So when I first started going into artwork, the one thing I wanted to get was Wolverine, and this was my first piece I ever bought. And besides that Carnage piece from like 20 years prior, 15 years prior, this was my first piece I ever bought online, and this is what started my collecting artwork. It was a nice piece. It was a nice like pencil piece by Brett Watt. It had Wolverine as a semi-splash page, which I was kind of looking for. Something big where I could see Wolverine, not in a small little panel, but something big.
Yeah.
So this was my piece starting out. I do pick up panel pieces, and that's how I was started off in the beginning. Then later on, when I could find splash, Wolverine's so hard to find in actual, back then especially, in a full splash or something that was like price right that, I could afford back then. But this was my first piece after the Venom piece from like 15, 20 years prior when I started collecting.
Wow. Yeah,
this is why I included it.
That's really cool. Yeah, no, and it's fantastic. Yeah. It's just beautiful, just beautiful. Do you, out of a curiosity, do you remember roughly what you had paid for this back then?
Maybe like $150, $200 maybe. Man,
wow.
Around there, I went their price.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's got to be somewhere in that range. I remember both artists selling them somewhere in that range back in those days.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, this was on eBay. I did search on eBay, and again, there's a lot of people drawing Wolverine artwork, their own concepts, and this was like it was a good price, and I'm like, all right, just to get into my foot into it, I'm not gonna go like the way I'm doing now. I couldn't do it back then. I'm like, no.
No, but that's a fantastic page for a first page. It's a fantastic first page. Yeah. Although technically, it's your second page, but first page getting back in, right? Like, yes. But both of them are friggin' phenomenal, right? This one's like a great page to start off on your journey towards being a regular collector. Right. The other one is phenomenal just because it's mind blowing that you ended up with that and you had no clue as to, you really didn't know what you're doing, right? It's like
no, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know about the blue lines, like the copies until later on, and I started searching that. I'm like, But when I picked up that piece, the other Venom piece was still in some folder sitting at my shelf somewhere, still collecting dust there. It was hilarious, like,
Yeah, no, and you guys are gonna see very soon which piece Tony's talking about that he bought back in the early '90s and just kind of forgot about and just whatever. You're gonna see it next. That's the next piece.
Yeah, so, that's why I included it in here. Hard as Hide. This was my first piece. I still remember it. I still have it. It's just a nice Wolverine piece, nothing like too fancy, but I love the pencils the way it was. And I just basically, that's what it was affordable back then too. Like I said, instead of spending my $150 on comic books, I'll just use it towards the art, and got something nice.
Right. I just want to say, because Ronald, hey Ron, just emailed me a Thanos commission for Tony to see from my collection. But you know what, Ron? It would be easier, so I don't have to go forwarding. If you just go in the description of this video below, click on Tony's link. It'll take you to his IG account, and maybe send it to him directly through the private messaging or whatever. But if you don't have an account, whatever, I'll certainly after the show, I'll certainly email it to him. Thank you. That's pretty nice of you. So thank you. Ron does that every now and then when he watches a show, and when he sees what art people are showing, and then he'll privately email me something with that character to, say, hey, your guest, show them this or show them this, figuring they'll appreciate it. Right. I did want to, before we get to that last piece, guys, just wanted to address for momentarily, we're up in stain. So I did, but what's crazy about this is, like, I remember there was at least 4 guys who had told me, like, oh yeah, if you do that last show, if you do that last Andrew Hennessy show, where we just make you offers, yeah, I'll show up. No, yeah, I think that's a good idea. Go ahead and do it. And then they didn't show up. So yeah, like, of course, that was the whole point, is I wanted to move as much art as possible. Again, I don't want you to say give it to me for 10% of value, whatever. But yeah, make an offer. And I said many times,
make a reasonable offer. That's the whole thing. Make a reasonable offer. I'm not looking to get it like from $2,200. You know, like $2
No, and I even said for this particular show, I even said reasonable is always good, but more than reasonable is fine for that particular show. I was just like, it's fine. I just want to try to move the art before I have to send it back to the artist. So, whatever. And then not that many did. So there you go. We're Up and Stain. And also, We're Up and Stain has asked you, didn't want to miss this, any recommended Thanos stories to read? Cosmic Marvel is a blind spot for me. Holy crap. I mean, I guess the first one would be the one from Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos Quest.
The original Avengers, the whole with the versus Thanos back in the day, that was nice too. The Thanos Quest, the Silver Surfer stories. I mean, that's where I got more back in the day. I was collecting that stuff during that time period, looking for it. But the Ron Lim, the Thanos, the way he threw along, it was amazing. Compared to like the same thing with Starlin back in the day, it was really nice too. I love those stories. The Warlock stories. Yeah, but
see, We're Up and Stain. Since Tony is not mentioning, specifics in terms of issues and all that stuff, and I don't really remember them very well. One of our friends here, part of the live chat crew, can maybe drop the knowledge of the Avengers issues numbers from the 70s and all that stuff. But I can say, for me, I never even read those Avengers from the 70s, and my first the real introduction was the Death of Captain Marvel graphic novel.
That's a good one too.
Okay, so that was my first with Thanos. And so I would say get that if you can. We're Up and Stain. And they've reprinted it many times. And also then after that, I would say, it's funny. I would say, just because it's easier to think about, I would say the Thanos Quest 2-part story. Okay, Thanos Quest, look it up on Amazon.
Right.
Followed by Infinity Gauntlet. Okay. However, before those two series were published, Thanos had been reintroduced in the ongoing Silver Surfer story series from 1987, and so I think he came back. He was reintroduced in issue 34, and then from 34, he kept making appearances. But those are all collected. You can get those in trade paperbacks. So you're just gonna have to do searches on like Amazon and on Silver Surfer, Epic.
Yeah, back in the day, he was looking for the Cosmic Cube, all that stuff. The different things he was going for.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah, but that's a good place to start. In any case, We're Up and Stain.
Yeah, I remember him, Thanos, and Sphinx from the Nova villain Sphinx. Those were two characters I really liked. Yeah, like way back when I was younger, I liked those characters, the way they looked and everything else.
Yeah. I just noticed a lot of people are making comments. Hey, Carl. Good to see you tonight, sir. eBay has some anonymity, which is good, so lower offers are easier to send. Exactly, right? Like, exactly. It's just kind of use your head a little bit, because if you're going to go big on the discount and you're just contacting a dealer through the website, you're obviously, it should be obvious, although to some people apparently it's not. But you have to understand there's a good chance you will be offending someone. But like Carl says, eBay, the whole make an offer thing, it's anonymous or whatever. On what's the other one? Comic Link. They have Comic Link Marketplace, right? So not just the Comic Link auctions, they have their own marketplace on the website, completely anonymous. And that's why on Marketplace, whenever I've had stuff for sale, the vast majority of people make me, ridiculously low ball offers. But
that's cool.
At least they're anonymous and whatever. I'm not going to get all worked up about it, and I'm not going to have to tell them off, right? I don't have the ability to tell them off, So so that's that. And exactly, Rick. Offer, it's like an offer versus insult, right? You're going to cross the line if you're not careful, kind of thing. And We're Up and Stain says, I just get ick when I see some. Okay, well, good. I'm glad. And that means you're on my side of the coin with that topic, right? So you see some, and you're like, oh, it's kind of cringy, right? I know. Richie, what is up, Rich? Good to see you, sir. Thanks for dropping in.
Evening, Rich.
Thank you, Ian. Yeah, exactly. Those are great recommendations. Exactly. So we said more than enough stuff for We're Up and Stain to to look at the comic shop or Amazon. And Amazon's good just to at least figure out what's pre-printed where and what format you can buy it in. And then if you have a comic shop, better to order it through them, to support them. Yeah. Spidey's Super Stories issue with the Thanos classic. Yeah, you that's where you got to start. We're up and staying. That is so funny. Just picked up an Iron Man 55. Okay,
nice.
Nice for you. Red Captain Marvel, recount around 26 to 33.
Yes.
Another
that's
one.
Thanos from there. Okay, that's the run right there from Captain Marvel. Yes.
There you go. Okay. And thank you so much, Nickster. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
I appreciate it. And he's got to run. I got to run, Kavi. He's got to run. I'll catch the rest on replay.
I'll do it, Kavi.
Peace, brother.
To the next show, Kavi.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by and hanging out this long. Actually, it's rare for you. He did it for you, Tony.
Oh, thank you.
Because he certainly doesn't do it for me. Mike's coming in late. Hey, what's up, Mike? eBay is there to make offers, so get it as cheap as you can. CAF is not the same. Yeah, exactly. Again, the anonymity allows you to be more of a lowballer. Whatever. Go to it with the if you're anonymous, fine. Okay.
Like I said, the worst thing they could say is no. And that's basically it. Lowballer or not? No. You want to make a deal? All right, let's make a deal.
Exactly.
Save a couple bucks, especially the way the economy is right now. Hey.
Exactly. All right, Jason, thank you so much. Appreciate you hanging around this late.
Thank you, Jason.
And Jason's going to be my guest next week. I will put the when I close out the show in a couple of minutes, I will put that thumbnail back up again. And have a good work week, Jason. And I will see you next week. But we'll talk through email soon. All right, and then it is eBay. Okay. You too, Carl. No worries, sir. A lot of people have dropped out, so that's cool. We're gonna finish it off here with one last piece of art, and then that'll be it. So there you go. Take care, Kavi. Always with the backhanded insults. Aren't they called backhanded compliments? Isn't that what they're called? It's not. It's again yanking your chain. I tell everybody. I get people who literally, like Comic Art Boston and a few others, they literally email me privately to apologize that they will not be able to attend my show. I'm just like, what? I appreciate it so much, but like no need for that at all. You can't ever make it. That's cool too. You got your own shit. I get it. I go long also. My shows are very long. I get it. Nobody needs to ever feel like they have to be here. Even if you're my friend, I get it. You want to come by for a minute to say hello and leave? That's cool. So it's all good. It's all good.
I watched a lot of your shows on the replay, though, too, Ruben. I watched your shows on replay, and a lot of the art ones, too. Like, I looked at like, oh, those are nice pieces, too. I seen those, and I just watched every single one of those later on. I'm like, oh, man, those are nice pieces he got.
Right. Yeah. But I think I've done plenty for this. You're my guru, man. You're my guru. You got me my start. I don't get paid for it, so I don't know if I should be thanking you for that. But you are my beloved pal. Believe me.
Yeah,
you
know
awesome.
I
appreciate it. He knows awesome. I appreciate it. He knows how much I appreciate him. So, okay. Of course, the standard Stanley comment. Keep the show going another hour, please.
Thank you, sir.
Not gonna happen, sir. We're gonna finish it up. Let me just see the last piece. But yes, okay, Kavi, just for you, I'll do that. Show the final piece before you gotta bounce. Cool. All right, everybody. So I've caught up with the comments anyway, so it's perfect timing. And here we go. Let us show this last one. So remember, everyone, this is the piece Tony got as he was working at a comic shop in the early 90s. And he got it because he was a card guy. Some guy came in wanting cards, whatever. He did some sort of a deal with the guy, and he picked up this piece for what? Roughly $150.
$150, yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. Check this out. Oh, God. Paulie P is going to be crying that he didn't see this. Okay. Check it out. This is sick. I mean, like, what the hell? What? Like, literally the first splash from the first issue of one of the most popular characters of the last 35 years his first series, his first solo series. Like insane, dude, insane.
So this came up around, again, 93, 94. I was dealing at the comic book shop. Guy came in with this piece here. He wanted some cards. I had no clue what it was. Like, how much is looking for this? He had no clue about it either. So, like, I don't know where he got it from. Like, $150, all right? And I just kept it for my piece there. I like Venom when that series came out. So I'm like, all right, I'll keep it. It's a nice thing, but where do I put it? I had no clue about it. Had no clue about artwork whatsoever. So just it was sitting in a folder for another 20 years after that, I think it was, until I rediscovered it back in 2000, I want to say 12 or 13.
Wow.
So
that's so crazy. Like to have it be sort of, lying around somewhere in your home, but like forgotten for like over a decade or so, just insanity of like it's not so shocking because that I've heard stories where that has happened, but like it doesn't tend to be a piece of this magnitude. That's the difference here,
Yeah. No, it's like, all right. I'm like, I remember this piece. I'm like, oh shit, it's been sitting here. Like, wow, okay. Yeah, I just framed it. I got it framed. That's why you see the glare there. It's kind of hard out of the frame.
Yeah. That's no worries. I mean, it's fine. It came out pretty good for something that was shot through a frame and glass and stuff. But Marcus, though, always playing the devil's advocate here. Maybe those cards though were Michael Jordan PSA 10s.
No, I know my store didn't have that. That's for sure. I know that. I know what I was dealing with back then.
Yeah. I wouldn't have thought so either.
No,
I definitely wouldn't have thought so. Being in the right place at the right time, baby. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
That's and Stanley, wow, huge piece. Congrats, Stone.
Yeah, so imagine this big, huge piece being your first piece in collecting art. Like I said, I didn't collect it. I just picked it up because it was nice. I'll be honest. Like I said, that Wolverine piece was my first piece that I collected going into the artwork, but that one was it's a classic now.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Well, awesome. Look, Tony, this was so cool. I'm so glad. First of all, I'm so glad I thought to ask you. Mm-hmm. And I'm even twice as glad that you were so cool to be willing to do it, man. It's been a blast, man. So I hope it's
fun. It's fun. It's always fun.
Cool.
Same thing when I do a Kavi too. It's all fun too. It's always fun
for sure. Absolutely. All right. Well, hold on. A few comments. I know towards when we close out the show, there's a few comments that I usually can't get to because we're saying goodbye. It's Kavi who hasn't left yet. Great selection of pieces chosen.
Thank you, Kavi.
Nice work.
Like I said, it was like homework. I'm trying to pick out some nice pieces to show.
Have a good one, dude. Talk to you soon, man.
Take care, Kavi.
And Nixter's back. Congratulations, Tony. Nick. And CJ says, "What's that so cool, Tony? What's so cool is that you still have it." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Ian says, "You have a great collection. You certainly do."
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
Yeah, Stanley, I should go to New York Comic Con to meet. Yeah, listen, I don't want to fly. I hate the whole airport flying experience. I've said this a million times. New York is a decent drive. I could drive distance. Is not the distance isn't a problem, but I don't want to get into the city. Like if I could drive just like an hour outside Manhattan and stop there, and that was the convention that would be fantastic. But I can't. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Driving, parking, everything's a ridiculously expensive. Like, nah, whatever. I mean, I like when I'm there. I love it. I enjoy it once I'm already in New York. But God, the trek there. Ugh. So, yeah, I don't foresee myself doing that anytime soon, unfortunately, which is too bad. Because yes, of course, I'd like to see all these guys in person at some point. But Kavi is in New York. I mean, he likes to drive around, go on nice drives. I told him sometime drive through Vermont, make your way up through Vermont. It's an amazing drive. And then come up to the border and come and visit me. And he can visit me. That'd be awesome. But CJ, you're welcome. Tony had to step away, probably just to the men's room, I'm assuming. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And like I said, I appreciate Tony for doing this. It's been, really, really fun. He's got a lot of cool stuff. And like I said, who cares that it's modern? Like, there's great art to be appreciated from all decades, right? So if you love art and you love these characters, I just don't understand how people can't like art from, across all eras, so Rickster, I appreciate it. And I'll speak for Tony and say that Tony appreciates it too. I'm sure he'll be back. There he is.
Yeah.
Just
Thank you very much, Rick.
Yeah, there you go. And just drive duty free. No. It's not. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Everything I bring back, that's another thing. People get pissed off at me when I'm in the States at conventions buying artwork because I ask them, hey, because I bring my own bill pad and I ask them, hey, can you just fill out your name and address here on top, and I'll fill out the rest, and then I fill out, what the name of the artwork is and the artist, whatever the price and all this. They're like, what do you got to do that for? They're all suspicious. Like, why do I got to put my name on it? And I have to, because on the way back into Canada, they need to charge me tax. It's duty free. Yeah, there's no duty on the artwork, but there is still 15% sales tax here in Quebec where I live. So they want to know how much it cost me so they can charge me the 15%. So
do they always do that? Do they always stop you to do that?
Oh, yeah. Well, they have to ask you, right? When you go through the border, they ask, like, you have anything to declare? You can't, you can lie to them, but if they don't believe you and they say, okay, thank you, can you just pull over here, please? You're screwed at that point, because you know what's going to happen? When they look at your car and they see that you have stuff that looks like it has value, they're going to say, you didn't declare this. Why didn't you declare this? More than likely, if they can easily check the computer and find what it would cost, they'll just, make you pay the taxes on whatever the value is. But with original art, it's not likely that that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
At a con, right? But that's the bad part, is with original art is they won't find it online. And so what they're going to do is they're going to probably seize the artwork because you lied to them.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to seize it.
That's again.
Yeah, they're going to seize it, and then what happens is they take it, and then they get it professionally evaluated by a professional evaluator, which was somebody here in Canada, of which there are none other than me who's qualified, and then they get back to you and they'll tell you, okay, it's been evaluated at this value. You have to pay us 25% of that value, or you can tell us we can keep it and we'll just put it in the incinerator or whatever, Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's yeah. You can't be doing that kind of shit when you're in Canada, whatever. No. So I always have to have those damn bill pads. Yeah, a pain in the ass, I've been to New York in 10 years. Don't really have desire to go back. Oh, I'm not going to touch that because we got a New Yorker right here. Look what I'm wearing. Of him. And exactly, Michael. Driving into Manhattan is never fun. Exactly.
It's never fun. I can tell you that.
No, that's it. Some of the original art I knew nothing about, just simply because I like the layout of composition. Yeah, a lot of us have done that. Even Tony said some of the pieces we showed tonight, right? He wasn't into the character really, but he just liked it, and that was it, So that's exactly it. Build an art mule space in the car. Yeah, right. Good night, Ron. All right.
Good night, Ronald. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again. And
no problem.
If you don't
thank
mind,
you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. Believe me. Would you be cool just hanging out a couple of minutes in the green room?
No problem.
Awesome. I'm going to put you in now, and I'll be there in a couple of minutes.
No problem.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Ben.
Good night.
All right, everybody. Thank you again so much for tuning in tonight and showing Tony so much love. It's really, really, it means a lot to me. It really does. Like I said, I'm not kidding when I say that there is a very clear demarcation between strictly art guys and comic guys who collect art. And I hate it. I don't like that exists. Maybe I can't do anything to sort of necessarily ever fix that, but if I can do what I can to sort of try to bridge the gap at least a little in ways like this by bringing in people onto my show who are comic guys but also collect art, and guys who hang out more with people on that side of the aisle, so to speak, then I'll do it. I love to do it. So thank you so much for, like I said, for being so kind and generous with the comments and all that, to Tony. I really appreciate it. And of course, I appreciate all of you, the regulars, the regular members of the live chat crew. As always, I can't tell you how much it means to me, but you know, I hope you know how much it means to me. The tie that binds. I'm trying. I really do, Rick. You know that. Thanks, Rich. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. Michael, thank you for coming in too. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's the thing. And the whole modern versus vintage is tiring, much like Marvel versus DC. Right. It's like an old, yeah, it needs to die out. Exactly. Lots to love across the board from all eras. Exactly. Thank you again for dropping in, Carl. I really appreciate you. So everybody, I just want to say that next week, of course, a lot of us will be watching the Super Bowl. And as I checked online, it's supposed to be on the East Coast, the 6:30 start. So 3:30 West Coast. And so because of that, I've decided to do a hangout episode next week from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So it'll, we'll make sure to cut it at 6 so that people can, have half an hour to do, their own thing before the game starts. And that's it. But hey, that's cool of you, Hoarders Hide. First time viewer, probably be back. I appreciate it. And you know what? I only ask people, unlike most YouTubers, I only ask people if they think they're going to be back, or wait till you see if you do come back. If you come back again and you enjoy the show the next time, at that point, if you could give a subscribe, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I don't want people who don't think they'll be coming back around to subscribe just out of pity or to help me out or whatever. Even though I appreciate the thought, I'm trying to get to a point where I'm one of those a very rare channel where a high percentage of my subscribers are also viewers, whether it's live or on rewind. So, but thank you. I really appreciate not only that you came in to check it out, but that you also participated a lot in the live chat, which makes it a lot more fun. So that's awesome. So thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate that. Rubén DaCollector, thank you, sir. And you already did. Okay, good. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So that's it, guys. Let me put up the banner for everybody and close it out that way. And this is the banner for next week. So just remember, look at the bottom. It is definitely starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. So 1 p.m. For you West Coasters. So that's it. I hope at least some of you show up, and I guess we'll find out next Sunday. Thanks again. And thank you again, as always, Marcus. Peace, everyone.